Chapter 434. After exiting the Black Lightning realm, they arrived at the Golden Lightning heavenly dwelling. Here, Hong Yi handed a sachet to Ning Fan. That sachet was a high-grade storage pouch that was loved by many high-grade female cultivators. It contained a lot of golden lightning bamboo leaves. She did not stop Ning Fan from erasing all the spirit sense imprints on the bamboo leaves. She understood that Ning Fan did that to prevent her from destroying the bamboo leaves. Compared to Hong Yi's calmness, Ning Fan was much more cautious. He only handed 7 dark bamboo leaves to Hong Yi. 7 bamboo leaves was the agreement they had made earlier. Later on, Ning Fan promised to give her 12 bamboo leaves. As for the remaining 5 bamboo leaves, he said that he would give her the same amount after obtaining the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Hong Yi's blood-red eyes were calm. She did not feel that there was anything wrong with what Ning Fan did. There was nothing wrong with being a gentleman before being a villain in the world. If Ning Fan deceives her, she would make him pay. If Ning Fan keeps his promise, she would also fulfill her promise and trade with him normally. She would give him the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs and order the Zhou clan to back him up in the Internal Sea. Hong Yi never took advantage of others, nor would she suffer losses. She was quite similar to Ning Fan. Miss Hong Yi, you kept your promise and gave me the golden lightning bamboo leaves. I really admire you for that. Ning Fan kept the golden lightning bamboo leaves and cupped his fists to express his gratitude. With these bamboo leaves, Yu Lingkong's injuries would no longer be a problem. Humph. Do you really think that I will break the great oath of Heart Devil for some golden lightning bamboo leaves? Hong Yi glanced at Ning Fan coldly. When she remembered that Ning Fan had forced her to use her great oath of Heart Devil, she felt a little displeased. Hee hee. Miss, you must be joking. You don't look well. Are you feeling unwell? Ning Fan changed the topic to avoid angering Hong Yi. After leaving the Black Lightning realm, Ning Fan finally had the mood to observe Hong Yi carefully. Only then did he notice that her face was a little pale and weak. 10 days ago, she definitely did not have such a feeling of weakness. I'm just a primordial spirit. The reason why I look so pale is because my primordial spirit is weak. It's not a big deal. Humph. You are the first man who has the guts to complain about my pale face. However, seeing that you're still useful to me, I can forgive you for your offense. Hong Yi frowned. Even though she did not care about her looks, she was still a little displeased when Ning Fan said that her face was pale. Moreover, the reason why her expression turned sour was because of Ning Fan. According to the original plan, Hong Yi could only stay in the Black Lightning realm for 7 days at most. After 7 days, regardless of whether she obtained the dark lightning bamboo leaf or not, she must first return to the outside world and meet up with the third elder and the others. He had to consume a certain amount of nourishing medicine to strengthen his soul. Otherwise, his soul would become weak and damaged. It took a total of 10 days for Ning Fan to head to the cloud realm in the upper layer. During these 10 days, Hong Yi had been guarding the teleportation formation at the lower layer to prevent the lightning beasts from destroying it and trapping Ning Fan in the cloud realm forever. Therefore, Hong Yi did not leave the Black Lightning realm on time, so her primordial spirit naturally showed signs of weakness. She did not tell Ning Fan about this because it was unnecessary. Ning Fan, on the other hand, felt rather speechless. He was just concerned about Hong Yi's complexion. He did not have the intention to humiliate her by saying that her appearance was ugly. He could only say that Hong Yi's temperament was just too strange. Hong Yi's complexion was not good, but her appearance was definitely not bad. Her hair was as black as ink, her skin was as white as snow, and her eyes were as red as rubies. Her eyelashes were long and curly, and her lips were moist and sparkling. She was an absolute beauty. She looked 70 to 80% similar to the Ning Honghong in Ning Fan's memory. However, she had an additional mature charm and a hint of arrogance and coldness. Her crimson dress was long enough to touch the ground. It looked like a red lotus and a blazing flame. The hem of the dress was decorated with several diamonds. It was luxurious and scorching. Ning Fan secretly observed Hong Yi's appearance. Gradually, he felt that something was amiss. What Ning Fan was especially concerned about were the 3 blood-red lightning stars on her glabella. Among them, only 2/3 of the 3rd lightning star was solid while the remaining 1/3 was illusory. Tai Su lightning star, huh? In the past, Ning Fan could not see through the profoundness of the lightning stars. However, now that he had completely condensed the Tai Su lightning star, he could see some of its mysteries. This lady's lightning star is only 2/3 solid. It's the same as what I guessed earlier. Have you seen enough? The corner of Hong Yi's mouth curved into a cold smile. Ning Fan was very bold. Extremely bold. He actually dared to look at her appearance like this. According to her temperament, if anyone dares to look at her face directly like this, she would certainly kill him to vent her anger. I'm sorry. Ning Fan shifted his gaze away. He could feel that Hong Yi was very repulsed by men. She was the daughter of the Lightning Sovereign. He did not plan to have any relationship with her. I have an agreement with the 3rd elder that I will only stay in the Black Lightning realm for 7 days. Now that I'm late by 3 days, I'm afraid the 3rd elder has already brought some people to guard the bamboo forest. When they see you traveling with me later, I'm afraid they will be wary of you. However, you don't have to worry. You are useful to me. With me protecting you, no one in the internal sea will dare to hurt you. Follow closely behind me. Hong Yi's tone suddenly became domineering, giving Ning Fan an illusion that the current Hong Yi had the same aura as Yun Tianjue. After opening the exit of the Golden Lightning Heavenly Dwelling, Hong Yi and Ning Fan walked out side by side. As soon as they appeared in the outside world, Ning Fan immediately noticed that there were 4 extremely strong experts guarding the bamboo forest outside. Each of them was a Void Refinement Realm old monster who had lived in seclusion in the internal sea. 3 of them were Void Glimpse stage experts and 1 of them was a Void Inquiry stage expert. That Void Inquiry stage old monster wore a linen robe. His hair was white and his beard was white like a halberd. His eyes were like blazing flames. He was carrying an ancient and large sword case on his back. His aura force was extremely strong. It was not any weaker than King Ying Long. As soon as the 4 of them saw Hong Yi, they heaved a sigh of relief. However, when they saw Ning Fan following beside Hong Yi, each of their expressions turned into one of rage. It's you, Zhou Ming. I didn't expect you to leave the Lightning Bamboo Island that day. It was just a camouflage and you actually came back. You're courting death. Even if you are a revered elder of the Rain Palace and have Yun Tianju as protection, you still treat the Zhou clan of the Internal Sea as nothing. Today, this old man will come and have a taste of your skills. I want to see what kind of strength you are relying on to have the guts to provoke my Zhou clan. Master, this brat is audacious and presumptuous. He trespassed the Golden Lightning Heavenly Dwelling with the intention of harming you. He should be sentenced to death. The 3 Void Glimpse stage old monsters shouted angrily. Each of them stared at Ning Fan with eyes that seemed to be able to spit fire. Only the old man carrying the sword had extremely sharp eyesight even though he had an unyielding character. He could vaguely see that Ning Fan and Hong Yi were standing side by side. Judging from Hong Yi's attitude, she did not harbor any hostility towards Ning Fan. He waved his hand to stop the 3 Void Glimpse stage old monsters from shouting. Then, he cupped his fists and said to Hong Yi. May I ask Master, why are you traveling with this person? Why did you only leave the Black Lightning realm after 3 days? Did something unexpected happen? The old man's question was very tactful. If something unexpected happened to the Black Lightning realm, it was very likely that Ning Fan had done something to it. If that was the case, he would definitely kill Ning Fan with his own hands. Don't worry, 3rd Elder. I am the dignified daughter of the Lightning Sovereign. How could I cause any trouble because of a Divine Transformation Realm Junior? Besides, it was because of this young man's help that I managed to obtain a sufficient amount of bamboo leaves in the Black Lightning Realm this time. Even though the time was slightly delayed, the amount of bamboo leaves I obtained was beyond my expectations. Now, all the important matters can be carried out step by step. Hong Yi explained coldly. The daughter of the Lightning Sovereign? One of the Void Glimpse stage-old monsters sounded doubtful. However, the old man immediately glared at him and he hurriedly shut his mouth. Mistress. It's really a joyous occasion for Mistress to obtain a sufficient amount of bamboo leaves. Since little friend Zhou has contributed, he is not considered as an enemy anymore. This is not a good place to talk. Mistress, please move to the Thunder Court Pavilion. Little friend Zhou, come with us. The old man's tone was respectful to Hong Yi. However, his words to Ning Fan left no room for refusal. When the other three Void Glimpse stage-old men heard that Ning Fan was a friend and not an enemy, they also concealed their killing intent. However, there was still a lot of vigilance between their brows. Ning Fan did not say much and did not give any explanation. With Hong Yi explaining for him, he naturally did not need to speak. All he needed to do was to follow behind her. His eyes looked at the three Void Glimpse stage-old monsters thoughtfully. He had never heard of these three Void Glimpse stage-old monsters in the Endless Sea. They were probably the hidden experts of the Zhou clan. If it was before he entered the Thunder Bamboo Island, Ning Fan would still be a little afraid of Void Glimpse stage-old monsters. However, after the trip to the Black Lightning Tower, Ning Fan's strength had skyrocketed. There were already tens of Void Glimpse stage-old monsters who died in his hands. Moreover, these three Void Glimpse stage-old monsters were lightning cultivators of the Zhou clan. Thus, he naturally would not put them in his eyes. However, the old man carrying the sword was different. He gave Ning Fan an extremely strong sense of danger. The Zhou clan was famous for their lightning cultivators. Even though this old man was an expert of the Zhou clan, he was not a lightning cultivator. Instead, he was a sword cultivator. Ning Fan's Tai Su lightning star could not restrain him at all. The strength of this old man was not weaker than King Yinglong. Moreover, he was not restrained by Lei Xing. If he fights against Ning Fan, he would probably be much more difficult to deal with than King Yinglong currently. The devil chi in Ning Fan's primordial spirit had yet to dissipate. Thus, he could not transform into his devil form for the time being. Even if he were to transform into his devil form, he might not necessarily be able to defeat this elderly man. In terms of strength, Ning Fan was not as strong as the elderly man. However, in terms of trump cards, Ning Fan had the Steel of Sun and Moon and the Heaven-Deceiving Cloak. Thus, he was not afraid of this elderly man. From Hong Yi's address, this old man with a sword on his back was the third elder of the Zhou clan. A trace of memory entered his mind. Ning Fan vaguely remembered that when he killed Revered Flame, he had heard the name of the third elder of the Zhou clan from the two Void Refinement Realm Palace Masters of the Rain Palace. The third elder of the Zhou clan is named Zhou Chen. He is at the Void Inquiry stage. Rumor has it that he is only a step away from attaining the Void Pierce stage. He has an unyielding character and kills people like scything flax. If I'm not mistaken, this elderly man with a sword on his back is Zhou Chen. Zhou Chen is the same as the other old monsters of the Zhou clan. All of them are servants of Thunder Sovereign Bu Zhou. They will only serve the Thunder Sovereign as their master. However, he addressed Hong Yi as his master previously and then changed his way of addressing her. When the Void Glimpse stage old man first heard that Hong Yi was the daughter of the Thunder Sovereign, he seemed to be a little surprised. Could it be that there's something wrong with Hong Yi's identity? She's not the daughter of the Thunder Sovereign but, the Thunder Sovereign? Ning Fan's eyes turned slightly solemn. If it's as he had guessed, some of the things that he could not figure out before could be solved. However, rumor has it that the Thunder Sovereign cannot leave the Sovereign's tomb. Moreover, there has never been any information that says that the Thunder Sovereign is a woman. My guess seems to be a little arbitrary. Are you doubting my identity? Hong Yi, who was walking beside him, suddenly revealed a cold smile and transmitted her voice to him. Who you are has nothing to do with me. Ning Fan said resolutely and decisively. After Hong Yi questioned him, he was almost 90% sure that Hong Yi was not the daughter of the Thunder Sovereign. However, if Hong Yi is the Thunder Sovereign, he still did not have much confidence and he was not interested in making such a guess. Just like what he had said, he did not want to know Hong Yi's identity nor was he willing to interfere. Thunder Sovereign Buzhou and the Rain Palace seemed to have a lot of complicated grudges. He did not want to get involved in those grudges. Well said. Don't get involved in unrelated matters. If you don't have any proof, don't say too much. This is the way to protect yourself. Hong Yi's expression turned calm. No one could tell whether she was happy or angry. Ning Fan calmed himself down and followed Hong Yi and the others into the Thunder Official Pavilion. The location of the Thunder Official Pavilion was also a forbidden area on the Thunder Bamboo Island. It was extremely secluded and a Supreme Grand Formation was set up. However, there were no cultivators guarding the place. Ning Fan vaguely guessed that the reason why there were no cultivators guarding this place was probably because Zhou Chen and the others were afraid that someone would see Hong Yi. Apparently, even if Hong Yi was not the Thunder Sovereign, her identity was also quite troublesome and could not be revealed to others. After entering the pavilion, everyone took their seats. Hong Yi sat on the main seat while the 4 experts guarded her like a myriad of stars surrounding the moon. As for Ning Fan, he sat at the corner. Zhou Chen and the others reported something to Hong Yi one after another. All of them used code words and they even transmitted their voices to Ning Fan during crucial moments. Ning Fan could not understand any of them. Then, they talked about their trip to the Black Lightning Realm. Hong Yi briefly told her about how she met Ning Fan and also described his contributions. When they heard that Ning Fan had obtained 24 dark bamboo leaves with his half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivation base, the 3 Void Glimpse stage experts sucked in a cold breath at the same time. It was impossible for them to not be shocked. Even if the 3 of them had heaven-defying concealment abilities that allowed them to hide from the ferocious beasts that guarded the Black Lightning Realm and enter the Black Lightning Tower, none of them could move freely on the 10th floor, let alone kill a Void Inquiry stage expert and obtain the dark bamboo leaves that were above the 11th floor. When they heard that Ning Fan was proficient in a mysterious wind mist magic technique that could erase some special marks, even Zhou Chen who was at the Void Inquiry stage could not sit still anymore. The 4 of them finally understood why Hong Yi, who had always been cold-blooded, would look up to Ning Fan. It turned out that Ning Fan's wind mist magical technique could contribute a lot to that important matter. Third Elder, I have an agreement with this young man. He found me 7 pieces of dark lightning bamboo leaves and I will give him all of the golden lightning bamboo leaves. Moreover, I will teach him a magic technique and ask the Zhou clan to protect him. I have already made the Heart Devil Great Matter. From today onwards, the Zhou clan of the Endless Sea must treat Zhou Ming as our distinguished guest. No force is allowed to attack Zhou Ming in the Internal Sea. Those who disobey will be killed by Void Refinement Realm experts. Hong Yi followed the agreement and gave Zhou Chen and the others an order to protect Ning Fan. Moreover, the level of protection she gave them was quite high. She could send Void Refinement Realm experts of the Zhou clan to protect Ning Fan. Immediately, the expressions of the 3 Void Glimpse stage experts changed and they advised. What? All the Void Refinement Realm experts of the Zhou clan have an agreement with the Rain Palace that we are not allowed to act openly. Rumor has it that this Zhou Ming is especially good at stirring up trouble. If he causes a great calamity, our Zhou clan may have to expose our hidden trump cards in order to protect him. Shut up. Didn't you hear that the young miss had already made a heart demon oath? No matter what, we must complete the young miss's order. We cannot let the young miss violate the heart demon oath. Without waiting for Hong Yi to speak, Zhou Chen directly shouted at the 3 of them and immediately cupped his fists at her. Young miss, please calm down. The 3 of them have just attained the Void Refinement Realm in the past 5,000 years. They don't understand the young miss's temperament. Please forgive them. Zhou Chen understood Hong Yi's temperament very well. Hong Yi did not like anyone to refute her. In the past, if the 3 of them dared to question her orders, she would certainly kill them immediately. These 3 void glimpse stage experts did not understand Hong Yi's temperament. They did not know how dangerous it was to contradict her. That was why Zhou Chen hurriedly tried to smooth things over. He was afraid that the 3 of them would offend Hong Yi and die in vain. Zhou Chen, on the other hand, was puzzled. In his memory, Hong Yi had never made an oath to anyone, let alone the heart demon oath. He glanced at Ning Fan from the corner of his eyes and thought to himself. Ning Fan must have some extraordinary means to make Hong Yi swear an oath. Since he was able to obtain 24 dark bamboo leaves from the Black Lightning Tower, he must have killed his way up to the 24th floor. Even Zhou Chen would find it difficult to enter that floor. Moreover, Zhou Chen could not break through the defense of the ferocious beasts at the entrance of the Black Lightning Realm at all. Humph. This time, Zhou Chen has pleaded for you. Next time, I don't want anyone to question my orders. Hong Yi's beautiful blood-red eyes suddenly flashed with a terrifying ray of lightning. That ray of lightning was too fast. In just a flash, it was impossible to see its trajectory clearly. However, the 3 void glimpse stage old men felt a sharp pain in their sea of consciousness as if it was about to shatter. If it wasn't for Hong Yi's mercy, the 3 of them would certainly die. The 3 of them immediately broke out in a cold sweat. They hurriedly cupped their fists to apologize and no longer dared to disobey Hong Yi. Ning Fan's expression remained unchanged, but he was inwardly speechless. This woman has such a cold temperament. Hong Yi was only cold to him, but she was cold to the others. Compared to that, Hong Yi's indifferent attitude towards him was already extremely polite. He did not interfere. That was the Zhou clan's internal matter. It had nothing to do with him. What made Ning Fan happy was that with Hong Yi's order, the Zhou clan of the Internal Sea would become his backing from today onwards. Ning Fan did not expect the Void Refinement Realm Zhou clan to come and help him when he gets into trouble. However, just the prestige of the Zhou clan alone was already enough for him to benefit a lot. A revered elder of the Rain Palace and a distinguished guest of the Zhou clan. This time, Ning Fan could be said to have the upper hand in the Endless Sea. Third Elder, how many 100,000 years old spiritual herbs do you still have? Hong Yi suddenly asked. Don't worry, my lady. I still have 100 tufts of spiritual herbs with me. All of them were painstakingly collected by me for 10,000 years. Each of them can be used as supplementary herbs to harmonize the dark lightning bamboo leaves. Zhou Chen said respectfully. Only 100 tufts. The lightning power of the dark lightning bamboo leaves is extremely strong. Each bamboo leaf needs at least 5 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs to harmonize. In other words, if I take 60 tufts of them, there will only be 40 left. Fine. Zhou Chen, take 40 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs and give them to Zhou Ming. Hong Yi said in an irrefutable manner. What? This time, even Zhou Chen was shocked. He had the urge to refute Hong Yi. 100,000 years old spiritual herbs were required to concoct 7th revolution pills. Each tuft of them was extremely expensive. Even though there were no 7th revolution pill masters in the Rain world, 100,000 years old spiritual herbs could also be used to concoct 6th revolution pills. It would be difficult for even Void Fragmentation Realm old monsters to obtain 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. As the third elder of the Zhou clan and a Void Inquiry stage expert, Zhou Chen only managed to find 100 tufts of them after spending 10,000 years. Each tuft of spiritual herbs contained Zhou Chen's painstaking efforts. How could he simply give away such precious items? It was not that he was reluctant to give them away, but these spiritual herbs were necessary for Hong Yi to ascend to the peak again. How dare you disobey my order? Hong Yi's eyes turned cold. The sun and moon can bear witness to this old servant's loyalty. Other than healing the injuries of your primordial spirit, these spiritual herbs also need to be used in the important matter in the future. If you lose these spiritual herbs, I'm afraid it will take a long time for you to recover your cultivation base. You don't have to worry about this. Zhou Ming's wind mist finger is of great help to me. It can exempt me from the medicinal bath of those 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Go, take 40 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs and give them to Zhou Ming. Zhou Chen gritted his teeth. Everything he did was for his master. He could run around for 10,000 years just to accomplish his master's important matter. He could wear out his ruthlessness and he would never disobey any of his master's orders. However, this was a serious matter. He did not dare to act recklessly. Zhou Chen looked at Ning Fan's direction. The hesitation in his eyes turned into determination. Then, he rose to his feet. Miss, this old servant needs to personally verify whether he has the strength to help you accomplish your important matter. This old servant understands. This old servant has violated Mrs. rules and I deserve to die for my crime. However, Miss, please allow me to sever one of my arms to atone for my crime on account of my past contributions. Zhou Ming, if you want 100,000 years old spiritual herbs, then receive a sword attack from me. If you receive this sword attack, you can take the medicine. Qi Zhou Chen's white hair fluttered in the wind. A strong aura force was emitted from the sword case on his back along with the sound of a sword hum. All of a sudden, heaven and earth changed color. The sword Qi was like a dragon. Do you dare to receive a sword attack from me? Why wouldn't I dare? Ning Fan suddenly rose to his feet. He knew that if he could not receive a sword attack from Zhou Chen, he would certainly not be able to take the medicine. He did not know what secret Hong Yi and the others were talking about. However, just for Luo Yu's sake, he must obtain 100,000 years old spiritual herbs to harmonize the dark golden bamboo leaves and cure her. Luo Yu was injured because of him. He would never abandon her. If I receive a sword attack from the third elder, please give me the medicine. A terrifying baleful qi spread out from Ning Fan's body, causing everyone in the hall to be shocked. It was the baleful qi left behind by tens of thousands of Divine Transformation Realm and Void Refinement Realm experts after their deaths. Ning Fan had killed more than 10,000 Divine Transformation Realm experts along the way and there were countless of them whose cultivation bases were lower than his. Even Zhou Chen felt his mind being in a mess when facing this baleful qi. Hong Yi raised her beautiful eyes. Her face was filled with surprise. She had been surprised by Ning Fan too many times. In the Rain world, the strength of this young man's baleful qi can be ranked first among those below the Void Fragmentation Realm. Chapter 435. Zhou Chen's sword qi was like a dragon while Ning Fan's baleful qi was monstrous. On the Thunder Bamboo Island, the weather suddenly changed. Tens of thousands of cultivators were shocked. Countless cultivators rushed towards the forbidden area of the Thunder Official Pavilion. Hong Yi suddenly stood up. She held a token in her hand and activated the great formation of the Thunder Court Pavilion, concealing all the ripples from the battle. The three Void Glimpse stage experts were instructed by Hong Yi to leave the Thunder Official Pavilion at once to stabilize the situation on the island. Ning Fan didn't care about the actions of others. In his eyes, there was only Zhou Chen. This Zhou Chen was far from being as strong as Yun Tianjue. However, among the Void Refinement Realm old monsters, he was definitely one of the best sword cultivators. His sword intent was fundamentally different from Yun Tianjue's sword. Ning Fan infused his sword intent into his body and carefully savored Zhou Chen's powerful sword intent that was rushing towards him. Gradually, he understood what was going on. Sentimental sword. Furthermore, the love within the sword is the love between a man and a woman. If it is further subdivided, it is the love of sorrow. As soon as his words fell, Zhou Chen's old eyes immediately flashed with surprise. He was surprised that Ning Fan was able to see through the essence of his sword intent at first glance. That's right, the sword intent he comprehended was the emotionless sword. Compared to the majority of emotionless sword cultivators, he, Zhou Chen, was an exception. The love he had placed in the sword was the love between a man and a woman. That love had ended in tragedy. In Zhou Chen's entire life, he had fought against countless sword cultivators of the Rain world. Among them, those who could see through his sword intent was a sort of emotion were all void refinement realm sword cultivators. Those who were able to see through the relationship between a man and a woman on the basis of the emotion sword were at least void inquiry stage sword cultivators. Those who could see the sorrow in the sword must be sword cultivators with void fragmentation realm vision. In Zhou Chen's entire life, he had only met 3 such people. One of them was Yun Tianjue. As for the other 2, one was the Rain World Sword Emperor and the other was a 4 heavens wandering rogue immortal. Ning Fan was the 4th person. It was not strange. Ning Fan's Tao of Sword might not be the strongest in the 9 worlds. However, among countless sword cultivators, his vision was definitely the highest. This old man has underestimated you. Even though your cultivation base is low, your comprehension of the sword is unparalleled in the Rain Immortal world except for the white-clothed sword god. If it wasn't for the 100,000 years old spiritual herb, this old man would definitely be willing to make friends with the sword and befriend you. I'm a loyal servant. Sorry for offending you. As compensation, I'll let you see the sword that I cherish the most in my life. Zhou Chen gritted his teeth and pointed with his finger. The sword sheath on his back suddenly let out a clear sound. It was a sound that was unparalleled in both ancient and modern times. Suddenly, Zhou Chen had a long sword in his hand. It was a wooden sword. The wood of the wooden sword exuded a hint of the fragrance of begonia. If Ning Fan did not smell wrongly, it was the wood of begonia pendula. This sword was extremely ordinary, as if it would break with a gentle shake. However, Ning Fan understood that an extremely ordinary sword would become the most extraordinary sword in the hands of a swordsman like Zhou Chen. When he was in Gusu, he had once comprehended the sword, and he had long since understood the principle of, a weak sword is a strong intent, and a strong sword is a weak intent. If it was a flying sword, the stronger and lighter the material, the better. After all, it was inevitable that magic treasures would collide. If he were to use a heavy sword, he would also need to pay attention to the material used. He would need to wield it in a large manner to sweep away an army of 1,000. Zhou Chen's sword was clearly not a flying sword, nor was it a heavy sword. This sword was an intense sword. It made the body of the sword infinitely weak, allowing it to unleash the strongest sword intent. What Ning Fan needed to defend against was not Zhou Chen's sword light, but his sword intent. The sword intent was all-pervasive. Even the lightning armor could not completely defend against it. Ning Fan's eyes turned slightly grim. Originally, he was prepared to summon the lightning armor to defend himself. However, it seemed like he could not resort to tricks now. He needed to show his true strength. Otherwise, he would definitely not be able to withstand a single sword attack from Zhou Chen. The 3 Void Glimpse stage experts had already returned after calming down the situation. When they saw Zhou Chen actually using a wooden sword, their expressions changed greatly. What? The 3rd elder actually used the begonia wooden sword. This sword kills without spilling blood. Rumor has it that the 3rd elder has only used this sword to kill Void Inquiry stage old monsters in his entire life. There are at least 10 Void Inquiry stage experts who died because of this sword. I didn't expect that the 3rd elder would actually use this sword against a mere Zhou Ming. A mere Zhou Ming. Ning Fan frowned slightly. These 3 Void Glimpse stage old monsters really thought highly of themselves. Did they really think that Ning Fan was an ant? If he wanted the Zhou clan to be his backing, he could not let them look down on him. At least, he had to show them enough strength to make them think highly of him. Since that was the case, he could not hold back anymore. Lightning armor, appear. Ning Fan changed his hand seal. It was the hand seal to summon the primordial lightning armor. As Void Refinement Realm experts of the Zhou clan, the 3 Void Glimpse stage experts naturally knew about the secret technique of the primordial lightning armor. However, this technique was extremely difficult to cultivate. It required one to devour primordial lightning in order to achieve some success. Other than the Thunder Sovereign, who had cultivated this technique to an extremely high level, there had never been a cultivator of the Zhou clan who had cultivated this technique above silver armor. Killing a divine transformation cultivator, who had to be a lightning cultivator, would allow him to refine a bolt of primordial spirit lightning. In order to defend against void refinement realm attacks, one would need golden armor at the very least. It was impossible to break through the golden armor without tens of thousands of elemental lightning. Rumor had it that once the lightning armor entered the golden grade, the amount of elemental lightning required would be even greater. There were only a few hundred divine transformation realm warriors in the internal ocean, and this was after including the resources of the 4 races of the Hidden Ocean and the Zhou family. Not to mention that lightning cultivators were the minority among these experts. Even if they killed all the semi-god realm cultivators in the rain world, they would not be able to collect enough primordial thunder to break through the golden armor. In the eyes of the 3 void glimpse stage experts, this technique was undoubtedly a useless technique. When they saw Ning Fan displaying this technique, they naturally did not think much of it. This technique must have been given to this young man by Mistress. Hee. This young man is just a divine transformation realm junior after all. He only knows how to summon a silver grade lightning armor to resist the 3rd Elder's strongest sword attack. How can such a poor defense withstand the 3rd Elder's sword intent? There's no need to watch anymore. This young man will definitely lose. As soon as the 3 of them finished speaking, all of them suddenly became mute. Their eyes were as round as camel bells and they were filled with disbelief. Ning Fan's white robes were suddenly covered with a golden lightning armor. Moreover, that golden armor was emitting a vast lightning power that was enough to defend against a void pierce stage attack. It was obviously a 3rd grade lightning armor. Impossible. This young man actually cultivated his lightning armor to the 3rd grade. How is this possible? After the Thunder Sovereign, there is actually another expert in the Rain world who cultivated his lightning armor to the 3rd grade of the Golden grade. With this armor alone, this young man is able to dominate the Void Inquiry stage and rarely has a worthy opponent. Because with this armor, there are almost no Void Inquiry stage old monsters who can hurt him. As for us, even though we are Void Refinement Realm experts, we are just Void Glimpse stage experts after all. Even if we use our full strength, we certainly won't be able to hurt a single hair of his. The 3 Void Glimpse stage experts were astonished. They were speechless. All of their contempt towards Ning Fan vanished at this moment. Hong Yi, who was watching the battle at the side, looked at Ning Fan, who was like a golden deity. Her cold eyes were filled with surprise again and she murmured to herself. This young man has just entered the Black Lightning Tower once. In just 10 days, he has actually obtained such a large amount of primordial lightning. It really surprises me. Even when I was collecting primordial lightning in the past, I didn't have this speed. Even Hong Yi, who entered the lightning tower alone, could only obtain the primordial lightning by slaughtering others. Naturally, her efficiency and speed in collecting primordial lightning were not as high and fast as Ning Fan. With Lei Shi's help, Ning Fan could directly purchase the primordial lightning. He caught up with the crowd's anger and became the hero who slaughtered Ying Long. Every time he went to a floor, there would be a lightning lord of that floor who would do their best to collect primordial lightning and give them to Ning Fan. Ning Fan was not fighting alone, nor was he collecting primordial lightning alone. Thus, his speed was naturally not comparable to Hong Yi, who was traveling alone. Zhou Qin took a deep breath. His eyes became even more solemn and he said in a clear voice. Zhou Ming, although your thunder armor is strong and can block Dharma and body arts, it can block physical attacks. However, it can't block intent. Demonic intent, divine intent, or demonic intent will work as well. At the end of the day, all kinds of intents are concepts. Magic power cultivates the corporeal while intent realm cultivates the void. The reason why one needs to improve their intent realm to break through to the divine transformation realm and void refinement realm is because it requires the cultivator to understand the transformation between corporeal and void. The first step of intent realm is the corporeal realm. The second step of intent realm is the void realm. The third step of intent realm is the legendary, true realm. Each intent realm is born with a grade. However, this grade can be improved step by step through comprehension. My sword intent is called the begonia sword intent. I comprehended it with the help of a drooping silk begonia. When I first comprehended it, it was inferior and had no grade. However, after painstakingly cultivating this intent realm, the grade of this intent realm has risen step by step to the 9th grade, the 8th grade and then the 7th grade. Today, this begonia sword intent is already a 6th grade intent realm. Little friend, take my sword. Zhou Qin said a lot of things in a long-winded manner. In fact, he was giving Ning Fan some pointers. He was imparting his comprehension towards the cultivation of intent realms to him. It was to compensate him for the mistake he made when he drew his sword against Ning Fan. When he drew his sword against Ning Fan, firstly, it was against Hong Yi's order. Secondly, it was against his own conscience. After witnessing Ning Fan's comprehension of the Tao of Sword and the strength of his lightning armor, he already had the intention to befriend him. However, he was loyal to his master wholeheartedly. He could not bear to lose the spiritual medicine. Even if he lost the chance to befriend Ning Fan, even if he had to go against Hong Yi's order and even if he had to cripple one of his arms after the battle, he could only draw his sword. In his life, love had already passed away. All he had left was kindness. His loyalty towards his master was originally just to repay the kindness. If he also loses his kindness, he would only be left with the sorrow of having his Tao turned into nothingness after cultivating alone for 10,000 years. Every single word of Zhou Chen's went into Ning Fan's ears. Every single word he said was the Tao comprehension that Zhou Chen had personally experienced 10,000 years of loneliness. It could be said that every single word was worth 1,000 gold. Countless cultivators of the Rain World begged Zhou Chen, but he would not tell them anything. Today, however, he really had no choice but to draw his sword against Ning Fan. The only compensation he could get was this Tao comprehension. Ning Fan carefully digested Zhou Chen's words. His understanding gradually increased. His divine intent was the rain, his devil intent was the mountain and his demon intent was the Fuli intent. With his shocking Tao comprehension, he had comprehended 3 types of intent realms one after another and eventually merged them into one. However, until the moment when the memory intent realm was born, he still could not see through the essence of the intent realm. He only knew that the memory intent realm was the 2nd step intent realm. Today, Zhou Chen told him that the cultivation of the intent realm was actually the cultivation of the word, void, which was cultivating magic power into reality while cultivating the intent realm into nothingness. All the puzzles he had in the past were solved today. From nothingness to reality, condensing magic power into cultivation. From reality to nothingness, breaking magic power into intent and shattering the void, one could become a life immortal. After comprehending the true Tao, one could become a true immortal. Ning Fan's mind became even more blank. Because of Zhou Chen's guidance, countless of his doubts were cleared. His path of cultivation was naturally less bumpy. Thank you. He cupped his fists at Zhou Chen. He did not blame him but only expressed his gratitude. The reason why Zhou Chen drew his sword against him was not because of a personal grudge. It was because of his loyalty. He was definitely not a despicable person. Thus, Ning Fan did not blame him. Zhou Chen had given Ning Fan a Tao comprehension. Ning Fan was naturally grateful towards him. However, at this moment, both of them could not be merciful in a battle of magic power. Both of them had to give it their all. Ning Fan's eyes became even more focused while Zhou Chen's mind was completely immersed in the begonia wooden sword. Zhou Chen had a reason to draw his sword while Ning Fan had the determination to save Luoyu. It was a battle of magic power but it could reflect all the bloody shadows of the cultivators. There were too many times when cultivators had no choice but to fight and kill each other in order to fight for the limited cultivation resources and to protect their own Tao. Sword, rise. Zhou Chen suddenly raised his sword. His killing intent was like the clouds. Before activating his sword intent, a sword chi rushed towards Ning Fan. It was enough to kill an ordinary void glimpse stage expert. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with surprise. Zhou Chen was definitely the one who released this sword chi unintentionally. The sword chi that he unintentionally released was already enough to kill an ordinary void glimpse stage expert. If he releases his sword intent with all his might, wouldn't it be able to instantly kill a void inquiry stage expert? No wonder the two void refinement realm experts of the Rain Palace were so afraid when they heard Zhou Chen's name in the past, as if they had heard some kind of nightmare. Although Zhou Chen was still one step away from the Void Pierce stage, in reality, he had already taken the lives of several Void Pierce stage experts and even an Absolute Void stage expert. If it wasn't for some special reasons, this person would definitely not remain at the Void Inquiry stage. Even though he was not as monstrous as Yun Tianjue, he was definitely a sword cultivator who could dominate the Rain world. Qi. Qi. Qi traces of sword qi that he casually released hit Ning Fan's chest, creating waves of lightning ripples. Relying on the strength of his lightning armor, Ning Fan managed to block these casual sword qi attacks. However, he knew that what was truly difficult to block was the strongest sword intent that Zhou Chen released using the weakest sword. Zhou Chen raised his hand. This sword intent is coming. Not good. Retreat quickly. The three Void Glimpse stage experts fled in terror almost instantly. They only felt slightly relieved after they left the grand formation of the Thunder Official Pavilion. Hong Yi naturally did not need to flee. However, when she saw Zhou Chen's unchanging and persistent sword intent, she sighed for the first time. Zhou Chen, you are still as stubborn as before. I have used the white lightning erasure technique for you 4 times, but you still can't forget your past. If you can forget, you were already a Void Pierce stage expert 10,000 years ago. Today, you are already a Void Fragmentation realm expert. Among the elders under me, your aptitude is obviously the highest. Even with Hong Yi's cold and indifferent personality, she still felt sorry for Zhou Chen. It was enough to show how high his aptitude was. Hong Yi just sighed. Then, she returned to her usual indifference and stared at Ning Fan quietly. All of her attention was focused on him. How many years can you endure under Zhou Chen's sword intent? If you can endure for more than 100 years, I will save you. If you can't, I will let you suffer a little. Who asked you to provoke me so many times in the past? As soon as Hong Yi finished speaking, she frowned. It's strange. Why did I take revenge on Ning Fan? Is it because of the incarnation of the 10,000 tufts of lightning grass? It's a little troublesome. It was indeed troublesome. In the past, Hong Yi was as cold as ice. After her primordial spirit became 10,000 times stronger, she subdivided all of her primordial spirit into grass in order not to affect her heart. Grass and trees were emotionless. On the day when her primordial spirit became one, she naturally would not have any emotions. Unfortunately, one tuft of lightning grass was touched by someone. It took the form of a human and had a heart and emotions. To Hong Yi, who cultivated the Tao of emotionlessness, this emotion was a poison. Even traces of her past memories were stirred up because of that trace of emotion. I'm not Ning Honghong. I'm Hong Yi. Hong Yi frowned. She used the white lightning erasure technique again to erase the trace of memory that she had just regained. She used to be Ning Honghong. But now, she was not. She wanted to be herself again. The emotions that she felt at that moment were also extinguished and everything returned to normal. If he can endure for 100 years, I can save him for the greater good. If he has already died in 10 years, there's no point in me saving him. There's no value in me using him. Hong Yi's tone became cold and emotionless again. Ning Fan looked at Zhou Chen and then at the wooden sword that was slightly red in color. The sense of danger he felt became stronger. At the next moment, Zhou Chen's sword intent drowned Ning Fan like a tidal wave. A cold and sorrowful old voice came out from Zhou Chen's mouth. 4 styles of sorrowful sword. The first style, 10 years of life and death. The sword intent that was like tidal waves completely ignored the toughness of his lightning armor and directly invaded Ning Fan's sea of consciousness. The grade of Ning Fan's memory intent realm was at the second step. It was far above Zhou Chen's 6th grade sword intent realm. However, his comprehension towards the intent realm was far less profound than Zhou Chen's. It was because Zhou Chen's sword intent contained the sorrow of his 10,000 years of Tao cultivation. That sorrow was irreparable and there was no way to express it. It turned into the most painful sword intent that could break a cultivator's heart. Ning Fan's eyes became dull. In just a moment, he felt like he had experienced 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years and 10,000 years. It was a memory that was as sorrowful as a sword and it belonged only to Zhou Chen. Ning Fan's mind was sealed by the sword intent. His consciousness was immersed in an imaginary world. The place where he was standing was a small mountain village with picturesque scenery. His appearance had changed drastically. He was now a 16-year-old young man with a sword on his back. However, his appearance was completely different from Ning Fan's. Instead, he looked somewhat similar to Zhou Chen. Ning Fan's head was dizzy and painful. He could not remember the past. A trace of power of the memory intent realm flowed in his sea of consciousness. After a while, his eyes became clear and he recognized that this place was a remnant dream. Zhou Chen would never have thought that Ning Fan's power of intent realm was memory. Moreover, he woke up from Zhou Chen's memories. This is the world of Zhou Chen's sword intent. When the sword intent from the outside world comes into contact with it, it will only last for a moment. However, this is the deepest part of one's consciousness. This place is like a dream. No one can extricate themselves from this dream of sword intent. Only Zhou Chen's 10,000 swords can penetrate their hearts and kill them. As for me, I woke up with the help of the power of the memory intent realm. Zhou Chen had miscalculated. Ning Fan was standing under a malice tree. The malice tree grew at the entrance of the small village. Behind the begonia tree, a young girl in pink clothes walked out of the tree shyly and gave Ning Fan a sweet smile. The young girl had delicate features. Her black hair was tied up high. There was a scar on the left side of her face but it did not cover her beauty. She looked at Ning Fan with eyes that were filled with infatuation and passion. Brother Chen, I heard that the immortal master of the Qiyu sword faction has taken a liking to you and you are about to be accepted as his disciple. Congratulations, the young girl's beautiful eyes were filled with tenderness. However, Ning Fan was not moved by it. Instead, he felt a little annoyed. Even though he was passionate, he was not that passionate to the point that he would fall in love with a girl whom he did not know, even if it was a dream. I'm not Zhou Chen. Ning Fan's tone was cold. His eyes scanned the surroundings and walked out of the village, trying to find a way to break free from the sword intent lock. Just as he was about to leave the village, he was suddenly pulled back by the young girl. Brother Chen, father said that if you join an immortal sect and become an immortal master, you will have money and power. Then, you will save me and not want me. I didn't believe it at first, but you. The young girl cried helplessly because she was heartbroken. Her smile was just a forced smile. Who would like their lover to leave their side? I'm not Zhou Chen. Ning Fan turned his head coldly. However, when he saw the young girl's face again, his heart suddenly softened. Seemingly in order to make Ning Fan fall into the dreamland, the young girl's appearance had also changed into Jiha. Brother Chen. Don't go. The young girl knelt on the ground and begged helplessly. Jiha. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He did not like it when someone schemed against his woman. Even if it was a dreamland, he would not allow it. Who is Jiha? I'm not Jiha. I'm Haitang. Mu Haitang. The young girl stood up in anger. She was angry that Ning Fan actually called her name wrongly again. When Zhou Chen was young, he liked to tease Mu Haitang. He often called her name wrongly on purpose to make her angry and then make her laugh. The scenes that were happening in front of Ning Fan's eyes were all the sorrowful sword intent of Zhou Chen. Zhou Chen wanted to use his sorrowful sword intent to create an illusory dream to imprison Ning Fan's mind, making him sink into sorrow and letting thousands of swords pierce his heart. That was the strongest sorrowful sword intent. No matter what, I'm still displeased that he used Jihe in a battle of magical power. However, this is my illusory dream. Zhou Chen's sword intent should only make me dream about my Dao companion. It's not intentional. He can't see my dream, but I can see his past. From this point of view, if I break his broken dream, I will have won this sword attack of his. Knowing that Zhou Chen did not have the intention to scheme against Jihe, the anger in Ning Fan's eyes diminished slightly. He gently helped Mu Haitang up. No matter what, the current Mu Haitang was Jihe while Ning Fan was Zhou Chen. Even though their names were different, in Ning Fan's eyes, Jihe was Jihe. No one could hurt her. Zhou Chen's broken dream ended with sorrow. His lover must have suffered an unexpected disaster, causing him to be lonely for 10,000 years. The pain would never be erased. On one hand, Ning Fan wanted to break his broken dream, on the other hand, he could not allow Mu Haitang, who had turned into Jihe, to suffer any harm. He pulled Mu Haitang up and protected her in front of him. His eyes were filled with tenderness. Follow me. Brother Chen, where are we going? Mu Haitang's eyes flashed with joy when she saw that Ning Fan did not have the intention to abandon her. To the Qi Yu sword faction. It seems like Zhou Chen's experience in cultivation started from the Qi Yu sword faction. If you follow me, no one can hurt you. Jihe. I've told you many times. I'm Haitang, Mu Haitang. The young lady said with displeasure. She had Jihe's body, but she carried Mu Haitang's memories. Not long after they left the village, a great calamity suddenly befell the small village. An old Taoist with long eyebrows at the harmonious spirit realm stood in the sky, looking down on the village as if it was an ant. I didn't expect that senior brother sect master could actually find a disciple who cultivates the emotional sword Dao in this shabby village. With such a disciple, he will definitely be favored by the patriarch and his position will be even more secure. Zhou Chen. A mere young man from a mountain village dares to try and stop me from becoming the sect master. Humph. Doesn't he cultivate the emotional sword Dao? Doesn't he have a lover in this village? I will kill his lover and make him angry and merciless. Let's see if he can still be favored by the patriarch. The old Taoist with long eyebrows released his spirit sense and scanned across the village. Suddenly, he gritted his teeth. Where's Mu Haitang? Where did she go? Why isn't she in the village? In the past, Zhou Chen lost his lover on the day he joined the Qi Yu sword faction. Ning Fan entered the dream. However, he would never allow anyone to harm Jihe, even if that Jihe was just an illusion and was using Mu Haitang's identity. Even so, he would not allow anyone to hurt Jihe. Whoever hurts her will die. Chapter 436. The Qi Yu sword faction was located in a low-ranked cultivation country in the Rain world, the Qi nation. It was the #1 sword faction in the Qi nation. Ning Fan stood at the foot of the Qi Yu mountain with the silly little Jihe following beside him. They were admiring the scenery along the way, feeling extremely delighted. After Mu Haitang's appearance turned into Jihe, her personality also changed slightly. In the end, she was almost exactly the same as Jihe. He did not care whether this dream was real or not. As long as he was here, no one could hurt Jihe. He occupied Zhou Chen's body, and his cultivation was at Zhou Chen's level when he was 16 years old. Third-level vein opening realm was indeed weak. In the dream, Ning Fan did not inherit any cultivation base or body refinement realm from his original body. However, the power of his intent realm was still there. Ning Fan closed his eyes. Pieces of black snowflakes condensed on his palm. Each snowflake was the power of a concept. His memory concept existed in the form of the 7-apricot blizzard. With the power of the memory intent realm, even though Ning Fan was only at the 3rd level of the vein opening realm, he could be invincible in Qi country, which was just a low-grade cultivation country. In a low-grade cultivation country, the strongest cultivator was at the gold core realm. However, Ning Fan could freeze a spirit-severing realm cultivator with just a wave of his hand. Apart from that, he also had the immortal trapping sword will, which could also injure the enemy. With me here, no one can hurt Jihe. However, as far as I know, there isn't any Qi nation among the 800 cultivation countries in the Rain world. It seems like it was annihilated 10,000 years ago. The first style of Zhou Chen's sorrowful sword is called 10 Years of Life and Death. If that's the case, 10 years will pass in this broken dream. If I want to break this sword and leave the dream world, I must not feel any sorrow for the next 10 years. The greatest sorrow in this dream was naturally Mu Haitang's death, which left Zhou Chen with endless pain. I only need to protect Jihe for 10 years without a single hair on her head. 10 years without sorrow, and this dream can be broken. After a long time, Ning Fan withdrew his thoughts and led Mu Haitang up the stairs of the mountain. Scarlet Mountain was extremely tall, tens of thousands of zhang in height. Moreover, it was a dangerous peak with tigers, leopards, insects, and snakes everywhere. In the eyes of mortals, Scarlet Moon Mountain was a peerless mountain that could not be climbed. Mu Haitang was just a mortal woman with a weak body. After half a day's effort, she had only climbed 3,000 feet. She was already panting. Ning Fan turned around and saw Mu Haitang sweating profusely. He crouched down and carried her on his back. Mu Haitang's beautiful eyes were in a trance. She leaned on Ning Fan's back and suddenly revealed an expression as if she had just woken up from a dream. Big brother Fan, I dreamed of you again. Very good, this Mu Haitang's existence had been completely erased, and the dream had completely replaced Mu Haitang with Jihe. You're awake. Ning Fan's tone became gentle but his eyes became solemn. Dreams were indeed very mysterious and unfathomable. You thought that everything in the dream was real, but when you woke up, everything was empty. It was just an illusion. However, if dreams were all illusory, Jihe could always meet Ning Fan again and again in his dreams. It was hard to tell whether life and death in a dream was real or fake. However, Ning Fan was even more convinced that even if it was a dream, he would protect Jihe and not let her get hurt in her dreams. Big brother Fan, I missed you so much, I know. Rest for a while, I'll take you to a place. Ning Fan had thousands of words in his heart but he could only smile bitterly. He had been running around and killing people like scything flax for his entire life. He also longed to return to Yu country. However, he had too many unfinished business and could not return. On the mountain path, only Jihe's words were left. Ning Fan listened attentively. Occasionally, ferocious beasts would rush out from the forest and block the path. Ning Fan's ferocious eyes could scare the birds and beasts away. His baleful qi and devil might were still there. Half a day later, they arrived at the peak of the mountain. It was already midnight. The moon was bright, and the stars were sparse. Magnificent jade buildings with bright lights floated in the clouds above the mountain peak, making it look like a fairyland. Among the clouds, young men and women came and went on their flying swords. All of them were sword cultivators. This Qi Yu sword faction was indeed the #1 sword sect in Qi country. It was such a beautiful night scene, but Jihe was not in the mood to enjoy it. She had already fallen asleep. Halt! Suddenly, 6 disciples who were guarding the mountain appeared in front of Ning Fan, blocking his way. Each of them had a cultivation base at the 7th level of the vein opening realm and each of them carried a sword on their back. Their gazes drifted to Ning Fan. When they saw that he was only at the 3rd level of the vein opening realm, their eyes were filled with disdain. Then, they glanced at Jihe. When they saw her beautiful face, they were stunned and their eyes flashed with amazement. What a beautiful lady! I'm the deacon who guards the mountain, Yue Wei. Who are you? Why did you bring a young lady into my Qi Yu sword faction? The leader of the 6 disciples who were guarding the mountain spoke. He was at the 8th level of the vein opening realm. He slightly released his aura force towards Ning Fan with the intention to intimidate him. I am Zhou Chen. Ning Fan casually flicked his sleeve. A breeze rose from his sleeve and dispersed Yue Wei's aura force. His expression was still as calm as an ancient well. However, the 6 disciples who were guarding the mountain were repelled by the force of Ning Fan's sleeve. They coughed out blood at the same time and their eyes were filled with astonishment. Even if it was a dream, Ning Fan would not be intimidated by a junior at the vein-opening realm. Besides, he really disliked the way the 6 of them looked at Jihe. All the disciples who were guarding the mountain including Yue sucked in a cold breath. The carefree young man with a sword on his back was Zhou Chen. Moreover, this Zhou Chen was only at the 3rd level of the vein-opening realm, yet he was able to block the aura of the 8th level of the vein-opening realm and injure 6 deacon disciples with just a wave of his hand. His means were really amazing. So it's senior martial brother Zhou Chen. Pardon me, pardon me. The sect master has already given the order to accept senior martial brother Zhou Chen as his disciple and make him the first disciple of the Qiyu sword faction. If senior martial brother comes to the sect, you can head straight to the Smoky Sword Pavilion and go into seclusion to comprehend the sword for 10 years. After 10 years, if senior martial brother is ranked in the top 10 of the 100 sect sword competition, you can leave the sect freely and no one will be able to stop you. When Yue and the others looked at Ning Fan, their eyes were filled with fear. They were not only afraid of Ning Fan's identity but also afraid of his terrifying strength that could injure someone just by raising his hand. No one dared to look at Jihe for fear of angering Ning Fan's. No matter where one went, strength would always be respected. It won't happen again. Ning Fan left a warning, carried Jihe and entered the mountain gate. Along the way, the reception disciples had already been ordered by Yue to lead the way respectfully for Ning Fan. After turning left and right, they finally arrived at a pavilion that was filled with dense spiritual qi. It was the Smoky Sword Pavilion. There were 12 servants in the pavilion. Each of them had a cultivation base of the 5th level of the vein-opening realm and above. All of them could be considered as the elite disciples of the sect. However, they were sent here to serve Ning Fan. As for the so-called master of the sect, he did not show up from the beginning to the end and accepted Zhou Chen into the sect. There was also no assessment of the sect. Zhou Chen was a genius sword cultivator since he was young. He was chosen by the sect master of the Qiyu sect and passed the assessment in the mountain village. Therefore, he did not need to take any assessment after he entered the sect. Greetings, senior brother Zhou Chen. The sect master has already predicted that senior brother would come tonight. He ordered senior brother to rest early. Tomorrow, he will personally come to the Smoky Sword Pavilion to impart his cultivation technique to you. The 12 servants looked respectful but their eyes were filled with disdain. Understood. This woman cannot enter the Smoky Sword Pavilion. The Smoky Sword Pavilion is a pavilion that was left behind by the founding ancestor of the sect. Without the sect master's order, no outsider is allowed to enter. A few of the servants looked at Jihe with disdain and tried to stop her in a domineering manner. She is my wife. There is nothing wrong with me bringing her into the Smoky Sword Pavilion. What I cultivate is the sword of emotion. My master will understand. If any of you continue to stop me, you will die. As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying baleful qi spread out from his body, causing the servants and disciples to become submissive. They no longer dared to show any disdain or objection. They could not understand why a mere 3rd-level vein-opening realm junior would have such a terrifying baleful qi. Zhou Chen had achieved success at a young age. Of course, his fame was boundless. However, all of this glory would turn into bone-piercing sorrow 10 years later. Jihe was sleeping peacefully. Ning Fan sat on the bed, guarding her while meditating with his legs crossed. From time to time, his gaze would sweep across the Smoky Sword Pavilion. He could faintly sense a trace of incomplete sword intent from it. That sword intent was left behind by the founding ancestor of the Qiyu sword sect in the pavilion. It had not been successfully condensed and could only be considered as a half-finished sword intent. Rumor has it that old ancestor Qiyu was only at the nascent soul realm. It was already rare for him to be able to touch the edge of the sword intent. It was not surprising that he did not manage to condense the sword intent completely. Ning Fan closed his eyes and comprehended this trace of incomplete sword intent. That sword intent was ethereal like smoke. It made the sword look like smoke and made the smoke look like a sword. He gently lifted his finger and a trace of ethereal sword light slowly rose from the tip of his finger. He spent the entire night comprehending this sword intent and gradually gained some insights. This ethereal sword intent was quite similar to Zhou Chen's sword intent. Most likely, Zhou Chen's future sword intent would be comprehended from this sword mist. He still had to wait in the dream realm for another 10 years. 10 years without sorrow was a good choice to cultivate this sword intent. Suddenly, a sinister sneer came from outside the room, interrupting Ning Fan's comprehension of the sword intent. Zhou Chen, you are really careful. You actually brought Mu Haitang with you when you left the village to become a disciple. Even though I did not manage to kill her in the village, killing her tonight will still be the same. I will certainly destroy your Tao of emotion and ruin your future. A Taoist who wore black robes and carried a sword on his back suddenly sneaked into the smoky sword pavilion. His finger technique was harmonious spirit sword light and he slashed at Jihe who was sleeping soundly. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. He guessed that this Taoist who was hiding his identity was most likely the culprit who killed Zhou Chen's beloved and made him sad for the rest of his life. He could kill Zhou Chen's wife but he could never hurt Ning Fan's wife. You're courting death. Ning Fan reached out his hand and made a grabbing motion in the air. An unimaginable sword intent turned into strands of sword threads and engulfed the Taoist who carried the sword, instantly turning him into a mist of blood. The Taoist's eyes widened in anger. They were filled with disbelief and fear. Even until his death, he could not understand why a junior at the third level of the vein opening realm could kill a dignified harmonious spirit realm cultivator like him with just a raise of his hand. He wanted to beg for mercy. However, he could not even do that in Ning Fan's hands. He could only die. He died with everlasting regret. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve. A breeze blew from his sleeve, dispersing the blood mist of the Taoist without leaving a trace. With his cultivation base, no one would be able to find out if he wanted to silence a harmonious spirit realm cultivator. That night, the life plate of the vice sect master of the Qi Yu sword faction was shattered. He died mysteriously and the entire sect was in chaos. No one suspected that it was Ning Fan's doing. If Ning Fan killed this person, Mu Haitang would not die. In that case, Ning Fan would not have to suffer 10 years of sorrow. Zhou Chen's sorrowful sword could not hurt Ning Fan. The next day, the sect master of the Qi Yu sect came to the Smoky Sword Pavilion and gave Ning Fan a large amount of pills and cultivation methods. Then, he left in a hurry. It seemed like he was going to investigate the death of the vice sect master. He was Zhou Chen's master who treated Zhou Chen very well. To Zhou Chen, his death was another source of sorrow. Within 10 years, Ning Fan did not go out at all. He stayed in the Smoky Sword Pavilion all the time to protect Jihe. He fulfilled all her requests for pills. He also prepared some sword cultivation methods thoroughly. Ning Fan had never practiced sword techniques systematically. In Zhou Chen's remnant dream, he started cultivating diligently as a vein-opening realm sword cultivator for 10 years. His qi had already reached the late harmonious spirit realm a long time ago. However, he only told others that he was only at the 10th level of the vein-opening realm. During the 10 years, Jihe slept more than she woke up. When she woke up occasionally, she was still in a daze. However, with Ning Fan's protection, she was never in any danger. On the 10th year, Jihe's figure slowly faded and disappeared from the dream. As for the traces of memories that originally belonged to Zhou Chen, they were also obtained by Ning Fan during these 10 years. Ning Fan protected Jihe for 10 years until she left the remnant dream. No one could harm her. Ning Fan did not have any regrets nor sorrow. He would not be hurt by the sorrowful sword. As long as he broke Zhou Chen's sorrowful sword in the 10th year, he would be able to defeat Zhou Chen. According to Zhou Chen's memories, he should have become Qi Yu's disciple and comprehended the sword for 10 years. 10 years later, he obtained the quota to leave the sect and return to the village. However, when Zhou Chen returned to the village, he found out that his true love had already passed away for 10 years. Until that moment, all his glory turned into dust and all his love was shattered. He cut off the only remaining weeping silk begonia in the village and turned it into a wooden sword. After that, he cultivated diligently for 100 years just to take revenge. Ning Fan did not participate in the sword competition. He directly turned into a ray of sword light and left Chiyu, returning to the village. The illusions around him showed signs of collapsing. It was a sign that his sword technique was being broken. Bang! The remnant dream that lasted for 10 years suddenly collapsed when Ning Fan stepped into the village. The village was just like 10 years ago. It was peaceful and happy. There was no one who killed them and there was no sorrow. Under Ning Fan's protection, Mu Haitang did not die and there was no sorrow. Without sorrow, a sorrowful sword would not be a sorrowful sword. The first style, 10 years of life and death, was broken. 10 years in the dream was just a blink of an eye in the outside world. In these 10 years, Ning Fan had built the foundation of sword cultivation which made up for some of the shortcomings of his sword Dao. After receiving a sword attack from Zhou Chen, he benefited a lot. After breaking the illusion, Ning Fan who was in the real world suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes flashed and shattered all of Zhou Chen's sword intent. The first style of your sword intent is ineffective against me. What? Outside the Thunder Court Pavilion, the expressions of the three Void Glimpse stage experts changed greatly when they saw Ning Fan actually opened his eyes and broke the illusion of his sword intent. Even Hong Yi was slightly surprised. Even Void Inquiry stage or Void Pierce stage old monsters would fall into the illusion after being bewitched by Zhou Chen's sword attack. However, Ning Fan directly broke the sword intent with the first style and woke up. Zhou Chen's eyes flashed with a hint of respect. In his entire life, he had only met 3 people who could wake up from the first style of the sword intent. They were Yun Tianjue, the sword sovereign of the sword world and the 4 heavens rogue immortals. Ning Fan was the 4th. Sure enough, he did not misjudge Ning Fan. Ning Fan was a rare genius in sword cultivation. In terms of innate talent in the Tao of sword, Ning Fan was even above him. My sword technique is divided into 4 styles. Even though you woke up from the first style, the 4 styles of sword intent have yet to be completely defeated. The first sorrow, 10 years of life and death. At this moment, Zhou Chen no longer wanted to win the battle against Ning Fan. He only wanted to learn from him. Ning Fan nodded his head, signaling Zhou Chen to use his full strength. By fighting against Zhou Chen, his sword Dao could also be verified and improved greatly. Zhou Chen turned the tip of his sword. A wave of intense sorrow drowned Ning Fan. I joined the Chiyu sword faction at the age of 16 and bid farewell to Hai Tang. However, I didn't know that after that day, we would be separated forever. She died in the hands of my evil disciple but I didn't know about it. When I found out about her death, it was already 10 years later. I have been waiting for 10 years for her to be with me again. I have been waiting for 10 years for her. However, what I got in return was my life. She died. This first style of the sorrowful sword contains the regret of my entire life. I can't make up for it. I can't tell it. I can't forget it and I can't turn back. The sorrow of this sword can kill a Void Glimpse stage expert. Chia's sense of sorrow swept across the Thunder official pavilion like tidal waves. When the 3 Void Glimpse stage experts saw this sword technique, all of them were filled with deep fear. Ning Fan stood at the center of the sword intent without moving an inch. His mind would only be locked by the sword intent once. There would not be a second time. Waves of pain came from his heart. That pain was the regret of not being able to protect his beloved. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with emotion. If the woman he loved died and he only found out about it 10 years later, he would certainly feel the same heart-wrenching pain and deep regret. Therefore, he could not take a wrong step in his life. He must not leave any regrets behind. That was why he would rather bear the notoriety of the world than to have any regrets in this life. Bang! His Tao heart was firm. It would not be shaken by sorrow. He opened his mouth and swallowed all the sorrow of Zhou Chen's 10 years of life and death. He recalled his understanding of the sword mist and sword intent in the 10 years broken dream. Just like Zhou Chen, he casually grabbed a wooden chair at the side. The wooden shavings were crushed and condensed into a wooden sword. A weak sword intent but a strong intent. A wave of sorrowful sword intent that was the same as Zhou Chen's condensed on the wooden sword. I also know the sorrow of 10 years of life and death in this sword technique. Ning Fan's tone was flat as if he was talking about something casual. However, it made Zhou Chen's eyes filled with astonishment. His strongest sword intent was actually stolen by Ning Fan. The 3 Void Glimpse stage experts found it even more unbelievable. It was already unimaginable that Ning Fan could break Zhou Chen's first style of sword intent. Now, he could even learn Zhou Chen's sword intent. How could this be possible? What level of genius in the Tao of sword is this young man exactly? He could actually learn the third elder's sword intent in one go. The 3 of them exclaimed. They naturally did not know that Ning Fan did not learn the third elder's sword intent in one go. Instead, he spent 10 years comprehending the sword intent by following the path of Zhou Chen's sword cultivation in the broken dream. Then, just like Zhou Chen, he melted his sorrow into the sword mist and cultivated the first style of the sorrowful sword. Hong Yi's cold eyes were slightly moved. Ning Fan had once again exceeded her expectations. Zhou Chen's sword edge slashed horizontally. Since he could not defeat Ning Fan with the first style of sword intent, he needed to use the second style. I joined the Qi Yu sword faction and cultivated to the 10th level of the vein opening realm in 10 years. When I found out that my true love had died and that the enemy was a harmonious spirit realm old monster, I betrayed the Qi Yu sword faction and cultivated bitterly for 100 years. After 100 years, I attained the Gold Core realm and slaughtered the Qi Yu sword faction. I endured the pain of missing her and sat alone in my cave for 100 years like meditating. Every day was filled with sorrow. 10 years of life and death can slay a Void Glimpse stage cultivator. 100 years of loneliness can slay a Void Inquiry stage cultivator. Ning Fan suddenly raised his head. His black hair danced wildly in the air. His wooden sword also imitated Zhou Chen's sword. On the basis of 10 years of life and death, he extended 100 years of loneliness. Ning Fan also had loneliness. His loneliness was not the loneliness of guarding a sorrowful hut alone. Instead, it was the loneliness of facing the bloody sea of cultivation alone. His loneliness was different from Zhou Chen's. However, he could understand Zhou Chen's sorrow. Standing in the middle of the sword intent, Ning Fan was unscathed. His eyes, however, became deeper and deeper. The third style, 1,000 years intertwining. The fourth style, 10,000 years drifting. When I annihilated Qi Yu, I obtained a trace of Haitang's soul from that evil Taoist. I carved the silk Haitang tree at the entrance of the village into a wooden sword and sealed a trace of her soul into the sword. She became my sword. For 10,000 years of drifting, only her sword accompanied me. She accompanied me through life and death. Even though she was sad, she did not abandon me. As long as the sword exists, I will exist. If the sword dies, I will die. The reason why I can't attain the Void Pierce stage is because my intent realm can't improve further. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that I'm unwilling. My sorrow will make even me sink into it. As long as I abandon all my sorrow and forget everything that happened between me and her, I can attain the Void Pierce stage. However, I'm unwilling. If the price of attaining a breakthrough in my cultivation base is forgetting about her, I would rather give up my cultivation base. Zhou Chen's eyes were filled with sorrow. His innate talent was exceptional. If it wasn't because he could not bear to let go of Mu Haitang, he would certainly be a void fragmentation realm expert now. However, he could not bear to. He could not let go. The waves of sorrow did not give Ning Fan any chance to catch his breath. They drowned him once again. Zhou Chen's sorrow intent had already been activated to the maximum. Within his sorrow, there were his memories and his Tao. More and more sorrow seeped into Ning Fan's heart. However, his heart became firmer and firmer. From the beginning, he had never felt sorrow for Zhou Chen. Even now, he would not feel sorrow for him. Using his memory intent realm, he peeked into Zhou Chen's memories. He could clearly see every trace of sorrow in Zhou Chen's heart. 10 years of life and death, countless humans and ghosts. 100 years of loneliness and desolation. 1,000 years of intertwining, tearing one's liver and intestines apart. 10,000 years of drifting, abandoning love and entering madness. Ning Fan closed his eyes. He was like Zhou Chen, who had experienced thousands of years of vicissitudes after losing his true love. Following the traces of Zhou Chen's memories, he finally understood his sword intent. Ning Fan understood the 4 styles of the sorrowful sword one by one. His eyes seemed to be filled with tears as if he was affected by Zhou Chen's sorrow. As soon as his tears fell, his heart would be filled with sorrow and tens of thousands of swords would pierce through it. He opened his eyes and the memory intent realm enveloped his body. Gradually, all the sorrow that pierced his heart was devoured by the memory intent realm. Ning Fan opened his palm. Traces of black snowflakes were slowly condensing into a small black sword which shone with a strange luster of the great Tao. This small black sword was formed by devouring Zhou Chen's sorrowful sword intent with the power of his memory. His memory intent realm had broken through to the grand completion realm. After devouring Zhou Chen's sword intent, Ning Fan condensed a sword intent realm that belonged to him. 10 years of life and death, 100 years of loneliness. 1,000 years of intertwining and 10,000 years of drifting. It's not impossible to cut off all the sorrowful memories. I have comprehended a sword technique from your memories. It's called the Memory Severing Tao Sword. Perhaps it can help you break through to the void pierce stage. If you can't get rid of her memories, you can sweep away the sorrow in your heart and only remember the happy times you spent with her in the past. That way, you can also break through to the void pierce stage. Ning Fan raised his hand. The small black sword flew up from his palm and cut off all the sorrowful intent. Zhou Chen felt a sharp pain in his sea of consciousness. All the sorrowful memories that were cut off by this strange small sword vanished one after another. He fell heavily on his knees with astonishment in his eyes. He was astonished because Ning Fan had condensed a sword with the help of the 4 styles of the sorrowful sword, and this sword could cut off one's memories. All the power of Zhou Chen's sorrowful intent came from the painful memories of the past. If his memories are cut off, the sorrowful intent would no longer exist. You've lost. Ning Fan's eyes indifferently glanced at Zhou Chen. He raised his hand and kept the small black sword away. Then, he opened his mouth and swallowed it. Today, after receiving a sword attack from Zhou Chen, he had used his 10,000 years of sorrow to achieve the grand completion realm of his memory intent realm and condense the memory severing Tao sword. It was definitely a rare gain. When he held the sword in his hand, Ning Fan took a closer look at it and realized that it had 2 great abilities. Firstly, it could erase the memories of others. Secondly, it could destroy the intent realm of others. If there is someone like Zhou Chen who fights against Ning Fan using intent realm, Ning Fan could defeat him with a single sword attack using the memory severing Tao sword. What exactly is that small black sword? It could actually destroy all of the Third Elder's sword intent with a single sword attack. I can't see through it. I can't see through it at all. This sword is too profound. It's not something that I can understand. I seem to have read a similar rumor about this sword from an ancient book. This sword seems to be... What? What is it again? The 3 Void Glimpse stage experts were astonished by the power of the small black sword. Hong Yi was the only one who clenched her fists and said with astonishment flashing across her blood-red eyes. This is a Tao weapon with intent realm. According to the ancient books, only cultivators who have grasped the 2nd step of intent realm can condense the power of their intent realm into a great Tao weapon when their intent realm is at the grand completion realm. It possesses great power. What? This black sword is a Dao weapon. This means that the intent realm that Zhou Ming has comprehended is the void intent realm of the second step. Moreover, he has already cultivated his intent realm to the grand completion realm when he is just at the divine transformation realm. Second step concept. Let's not talk about the second step intent realm he has comprehended. Almost no one in the 9 realms has comprehended the second step intent realm. Even in the 4 heavens immortal realm, those who can comprehend the second step intent realm are mostly perfected immortals. Perfect concept. Generally speaking, only old monsters of the absolute void stage can cultivate their intent realm to perfection and completely comprehend the word void. However, this young man has already attained perfection in his intent realm even though he has yet to attain the void refinement realm. His future is limitless. The eyes of the 3 void glimpse stage experts were filled with deep astonishment. Zhou Chen half knelt on the ground. The sorrow in his eyes gradually dissipated, revealing a look of defeat. Not only did little friend receive my sword strike, but you even broke all of my intent realm with a backhand strike. In terms of the strength of my intent realm, this old man has lost to little friend. Later on, this old man will bring 40 stalks of 100,000 years old spirit herbs and hand them over to little friend. Young friend, please wait for a moment. This old man will first cripple an arm to apologize to Mississippi. There's no need. Hurry up and get the medicine. Hong Yi's tone was ice cold. Her eyes were filled with displeasure and impatience. She never said that she wanted to chop off Zhou Chen's arm. It was all Zhou Chen's own words. Ah! Zhou Chen's eyes widened in bewilderment. In the past, Hong Yi would certainly kill anyone who disobeys her orders. Chopping off an arm was considered a light punishment. The current Hong Yi actually knew how to sympathize with her subordinates. It was really surprising. Master's personality has changed a little. Zhou Chen's eyes were filled with worry. Hopefully, the change in Hong Yi's personality was in a good direction. Zhou Chen shifted his gaze to Ning Fan again and let out a deep sigh. Ning Fan swallowed his sorrow and condensed the black sword Dao weapon. It really shocked Zhou Chen. This young man is worthy enough for Master to recruit with all her might. He is qualified to obtain 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. In the future, he will certainly be a powerful aid to Master's revenge. Chapter 437. Zhou Chen took out 40 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs and handed them to Ning Fan. As for Ning Fan, he took out 5 pieces of dark lightning bamboo leaves and handed them to Hong Yi. While he was receiving the protection of the Zhou clan, he also promised to help Hong Yi with a small favor. To Ning Fan, this little favor was indeed not too dangerous. All he needed to do was to win a token in the grand competition of the Sovereign Tomb 10 years later and obtain the qualification to enter the Sovereign Tomb. If he really couldn't get a token, Hong Yi would give him a token 10 years later. Of course, with Ning Fan's strength, it was certainly not difficult for him to obtain the first place among all the Divine Transformation Realm experts. After breaking Zhou Chen's sword intent, Ning Fan gained the attention of the higher-ups of the Zhou clan. This attention was no less than the attention given by the Rain Palace. Other than the danger of exposing his sovereign qi, Ning Fan almost did not need to worry about any other hidden dangers in the internal endless sea. After obtaining some 50,000 years old spiritual herbs, Ning Fan bid farewell and left. Hong Yi did not try to persuade him to stay. She still had 10 years to prepare for her big event. Before that, she had a lot of things to do, such as healing. After traveling several tens of millions of li away from the Thunder Bamboo Island, Ning Fan chose a deserted island. He opened up his immortal cave and summoned Yu Linkong and the female corpse. The golden lightning bamboo leaves required 50,000 years old spiritual herbs to be used to harmonize them. 100 pieces of golden lightning bamboo leaves had consumed a lot of spiritual herbs. Ning Fan had concocted tens of bottles of golden medicinal liquid. Every bottle of this medicinal liquid was helpful in recuperating one's primordial spirit. With just a few bottles, the crack on Yu Linkong's primordial spirit had already healed. After completely consuming 100 bottles of medicinal liquid, Yu Linkhong could already release her magic power freely. Opening the moon door was not a problem at all. Ning Fan left Yu Linkhong and the female corpse in the abode to rest while he returned to the profound Yin world to treat Luo Yu's injuries. He did not know what kind of self-harming secret technique she had used to help him escape from Great Emperor Mo Luo's bewitchment. Looking at her pale and unconscious face, Ning Fan felt pity for her. He used 40 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs to make 8 pieces of dark lightning bamboo leaves and fed them to her. The unconscious Luo Yu was naturally unable to consume anything. Ning Fan used his mouth to taste the medicinal liquid. Every time his lips and tongue touched the liquid, he fed it to her. Although he had offended the beauty, there was nothing he could do. Even though Luo Yu did not wake up after eating the 8 dark lightning bamboo leaves, her cultivation base had recovered to the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. In fact, it was even getting close to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. It seemed like the dark lightning bamboo leaves were extremely suitable for Luo Yu to recover her strength. If she had enough 100,000 years old spiritual herbs and refined the remaining 4 dark lightning bamboo leaves one by one, she would certainly be able to recover her strength to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Unfortunately, although the world was vast, 100,000-year-old spirit herbs were too rare. Any spirit herb that could live up to 100,000-year-old was a rare breed. Even though Zhou Qin spent 10,000 years and went to countless ruins, he only managed to find 100 stalks of spiritual herbs. If Ning Fan did not have a fortuitous encounter, it would be extremely difficult for him to obtain a 100,000 years old spiritual herb. Looking at Luo Yu's rosy but unconscious face, Ning Fan felt very gratified. Since he was able to cure Yu Linkhong and Luo Yu, his efforts were not in vain. What was left was to bring the female corpse to the Six-Winged Clan and use the power of the revival platform to repair her damaged sea of consciousness. To be honest, Ning Fan himself did not have much confidence in repairing his sea of consciousness in one go. In any case, the healing effect of the revival platform was beneficial to the dead woman. The trip to the Six-Winged Clan was a must. The appointed time to meet with the Great Elder of the Six-Winged Clan was also approaching. Ning Fan confirmed that Luo Yu was not pretending to be asleep this time. She was indeed unconscious. He did not stay any longer and left the profound Yin world. When he returned to his cave dwelling, he saw Yu Linkhong's teasing eyes. "Little cucumber, where did you go? There's a woman's fragrance on your body. Are you jealous?" Ning Fan smiled and asked her a question instead of answering her question. "Why would I be jealous of you? Che." Yu Linkhong glared at Ning Fan disdainfully, thinking that he was really narcissistic. "Are you feeling better? Don't worry. Even though I still have some minor injuries, it won't be a problem for me to open the moon portals. When the moon comes, I will let you witness a speed that even void fragmentation realm old monsters can't catch up to. Under the moonlight, I can open the moon portals once and travel 300 million li. During the day, I can also open the moon portals once with every 100 million immortal jades. However, I can only travel 100 million li. You need to spend such a huge amount of immortal jades to open the moon portals using magic techniques?" Ning Fan was greatly surprised. Back then, when he followed Yu Linkhong through the moon gate, he did not spend any immortal jade. However, when he thought about it carefully, the reason why he didn't use any immortal jades that day was because those moon gates were set up beforehand, so immortal jades must have been laid down beforehand. Now that he was going to the Six-Winged Clan, there were no moon portals along the way. Yu Linkhong casually opened the door. If she did not spend a huge amount of immortal jades, with her magic power, she would not be able to teleport someone 300 million miles away. A divine transformation realm expert could travel 10,000 li, a void refinement realm expert could travel 50,000 li and a void fragmentation realm expert could travel 1 million li. Every time Yu Linkhong opened the moon portals, she could travel 300 million li away. With that, she could totally evade the pursuit of a void fragmentation realm expert. With such a heaven-defying speed, it would be strange if there wasn't a huge price to pay. Yu Linkong was simply a portable primordial teleportation array. Your moon portal technique is really too heaven-defying. The inheritance of immortal concubine Zhang, you must have been famous even in ancient times. Ning Fan praised. Cut it out. No matter how heaven-defying this old lady's moon gate technique is, in the end, I still fell into your hands and was fucked by you. This is truly the shame of my life. Yu Linkong did not say anything else. She rolled her eyes at Ning Fan and stood up, walking towards the outside of the cave. There was still some time before the moonlight appeared. She had to start summoning the moon gate. She secretly hid the trace of paleness on her face. Her body was still a little weak, but she did not want Ning Fan to know about it. She knew that the reason why Ning Fan was in such a hurry to go to the Six-Winged Clan was to treat the female corpse's injuries. She understood what kind of place the female corpse held in his heart. Ning Fan had gone to the Thunder Bamboo Island to steal the golden lightning bamboo leaves for her. She was very touched by him. She would definitely repay his kindness. Therefore, she must send Ning Fan to the Six-Winged Clan as soon as possible. There was no time for her to rest. Pa! Before she could walk out of the cave, her wrist was held by Ning Fan. He gently pulled her into his arms. Little cucumber, what are you doing? I'm going to take care of business. I'll repay you with my body later. I really don't have time now. When Yu Linkong was pulled into his embrace, she thought that Ning Fan was going to push her down. Her brows knitted together and her heart was filled with dissatisfaction. It's fine. Actually, there's no need to rush to Six-Winged. Even though the Great Elder of the Six-Winged Clan has agreed with me on the time to activate the revival platform, he won't be in a hurry to activate it even if I go there a few days later. He will certainly wait for me to avoid angering me. Therefore, it's fine if I go there a few days later. You should rest for a few more days. Wei-Yang and I will wait for you to recover completely before we open the moon gate. I don't need to rest, your face is still a little pale. Have a good rest. Ning Fan stroked the side of Yu Linkong's face with his palm. Ignoring her dissatisfaction, he directly carried her up and placed her on the bed in the cave. Yu Linkong's mind went blank. She did not know what to do when Ning Fan showed so much concern for her. Little cucumber, I'm really fine. Wei-Yang's matter is more important. She averted her eyes and lowered her posture. She no longer addressed herself as I. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Have a good rest. If you break your body, you won't be able to repay me with your body. Today, you're no longer a little girl with no breasts and no buttocks. I'm looking forward to it. Ning Fan teased her. Then, he held the female corpse's hand and walked out of the cave. You. Air. Recuperate. Even the female corpse turned her head and said with concern. Even though her spiritual wisdom was slightly low, she could see that Yu Linkong's face was pale. Yu Linkong covered herself with a thin blanket and lay on her side on the stone bed. Looking at Ning Fan's departing figure, her eyes became even more complicated. Little cucumber, don't be so gentle to me. I'm afraid I won't be able to extricate myself. She sighed softly. Outside the cave, Ning Fan raised his head and stared at the moonlight of the last quarter moon. In the end, he did not ask Yu Linkong to open the moon gate. It was not that he was not in a hurry. However, if he were to hurt another woman in order to save the female corpse, it would be like neglecting the essentials. The debt of love would always increase unknowingly. In this era where cultivators were as numerous as ants, it was hard to tell who was right and who was wrong. Who was right and who was wrong when it came to love? Who was right and who was wrong when it came to saving others? Everyone was trying their best to survive. If they stop, they would become the stepping stones of others on the path of cultivation. Wei-Yang, if you wake up and find out that I've become so fickle in love, will you blame me? Ning Fan smiled bitterly. Each of the beauties he knew was an outstanding woman with their own pride. If they did not meet Ning Fan, they would never fall in love with a fickle man. Mu Weiliang in her previous life was the daughter of the Heaven Emperor. She certainly had her own pride. Could she tolerate the man whom she had waited for 150 million years to fall in love with someone else? Light. I am. The female corpse raised her cold and small hand and gently stroked Ning Fan's black hair as if she was stroking a pet. Her expression was filled with pity. No regrets. Her words were short, but they were like a sharp sword that pierced into Ning Fan's heart. No regrets. The female corpse said that she had no regrets. The female corpse would never have no regrets. The only person who would say that was Mu Weiliang in her previous life was Mu Weiliang. She had never regretted her actions. Ever since the last time she awakened in the Star Palace, she had gradually turned back into Mu Weiliang. It turned out that when Ning Fan was ignoring her, she had already become the Mu Weiliang of her previous life. I've killed too many people and owed too many women. Perhaps one day, I will be struck by lightning and die without a complete corpse. I have never thought about the future. Living in the present is already so difficult. I have too many enemies who are so strong that they make me feel suffocated. Moksha Sovereign, the White Devil Sect, Great Emperor Mo Luo, Immortal Emperor Zhang Qing. Each of my enemies makes me unable to stop moving forward. If I'm afraid, I will lose everything. Ning Fan told the female corpse about his worries. His mind recalled the afterimage he saw in the samsara. It was a butterfly that was half black and half white. Even though it was weak, it still rushed towards Immortal Emperor Zhang Qing. It knew that it would definitely die, but it could not retreat. If it does not risk its life, Mu Weiliang would die without a complete corpse and there would be no chance for them to meet again in the next life. There was no other choice and he could not run away from this path. Ning Fan was definitely not willing to be like Zhou Chen, who lost his true love and lived alone for 10,000 years. Even if he loses his life, even if his Tao disappears, even if his Tao and life are separated, he must protect each and every one of them who he cares about. Stupid. Light. The female corpse's stiff face revealed a sweet smile. The person she once loved deeply was such a stubborn butterfly. He did not change. Even if the sea turns into mulberry fields, he is still the same person. Ning Fan pondered for a long time. His Tao heart became even firmer. Standing side by side in the night, Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out a jade slip. It was a gift from Lightning Emperor Tai Su. In the past, when Lightning Emperor Tai Su gave him the jade slip, he did not read it carefully. Instead, he was busy healing Yu Lingkong and Luo Yu. Now, he finally had the leisure to see what request Tai Su had left in the jade slip. Tai Su had done him a great favor. He was the one who saved his life. Ning Fan must repay such a great favor. As long as it is within his capabilities, Ning Fan would never refuse Tai Su's request. Ning Fan scanned the jade slip with his spirit sense. There were only a few short last words and a vast star map in it. Judging from the position of the star map, the star region indicated by it was a small kiliacosm which existed in a hidden and sealed place in the eastern heaven immortal world. When little friend reads this jade slip, my Tao must have already perished. Humans must die and immortals must perish. This is fate. I saved you willingly. Little friend, you don't have to blame yourself. When Ning Fan read until here, his heart felt a little sour. In order to save him from the hands of Mo Luo, a great emperor of a generation had perished with his Tao and no one knew about it. It has been 50 million years since my death. During these 50 million years, I have tried my best to not perish just to wait for you to save me. Little friend, you are the person I have been waiting for. You are the hope to save the true lightning world. The star map of the true lightning world is attached in the jade slip. It is located in an extremely hidden star region in the eastern heaven immortal world. There are two types of seals in the star region. The first layer of the seal on the outside was set by me. With my strength that was unrivaled at the same level as me in the past, I used all my strength to set up the formation seal. Unless it's an immortal emperor who is at the same level as me, no one can break through this seal. Little friend, you have obtained the inheritance of my lightning star and lightning diagram. You can ignore the first layer of the seal of the true lightning world. As for the second layer of the seal, this seal was personally set up by immortal sovereign Zido a billion years ago. It can't stop our enemies. It will only seal our true lightning clan. We will never be able to break free from the true lightning world, and we will have to suffer all kinds of sufferings. What I want is related to this second layer of the seal. If little friend's cultivation base is successful in the future, you must go to the true lightning world and resolve the suffering of our true lightning clan for a billion years. That place is my hometown. In the past, I met an expert who taught me that I can only resolve the tribulation of the true lightning clan when the disciple of Zido appears. I won't be mistaken. You are indeed Zido's disciple. You must have obtained the immortal sovereign's impartation of Tao. Even the Z clan cannot save the true lightning clan. Only you can. This is my lifelong wish. I hope that little friend can help me fulfill my regret. Also, Fei Feng. If little friend goes to the true lightning world, you must help me look for a person. Her name is Fei Feng. Perhaps she is already married. Perhaps she is already dead. If she is still alive, you can give this pill recipe to her. It can cure her chronic illness. You don't have to tell her that this pill recipe is a gift from me. If she is already dead, please go to her grave and burn this pill recipe. Then, I can die without regrets. Gotcha. When Ning Fan was done looking at the jade slip, it suddenly shattered into pieces and turned into rays of 7-colored lightning. Then, they condensed into 2 scrolls. One of them was the star map of the true lightning world, while the other one was an ancient pill recipe. Ning Fan only took a few careful glances at the pill recipe. It seemed to be a 9 revolutions pill recipe, and it was actually a 9 revolutions golden pill. Once a pill enters the 9 revolutions realm, it would be divided into 4 grades, which were lead grade, silver grade, gold grade, and emperor grade. This pill recipe of the 9 revolutions golden pill was priceless. Ning Fan fell into silence. A dignified great emperor of a generation could not forget 2 things before his death. Firstly, he wanted to save his hometown from the calamity, and secondly, he wanted to find a woman named Fei Feng. The so-called immortal emperors must have gone through the stage where they could forget their emotions. However, even if they had forgotten their emotions, they were not emotionless. Ning Fan engraved the 2 things that he had asked Ning Fan to do in his heart. He did not find it difficult to find Fei Feng and pass the pill recipe to her. If he had the chance to go to the Eastern Heaven, he could do it. However, the first request was to save the true lightning world. This request only made Ning Fan smile bitterly. Ning Fan did not think that he could do something that even immortal Emperor Tai Su could not do. After all, it was immortal sovereign Zido who had sealed the true lightning world for 1 billion years. Perhaps 1 billion years ago, before the immortal sovereign achieved his Tao, he had a grudge against the true lightning world. That was why he sealed this world. 1 billion years had passed and all the grudges had passed. If Zido did not die, he would probably be able to get rid of the calamity of the true lightning world. Ning Fan had once acknowledged Zido as his teacher. Therefore, it was reasonable to say that he was a disciple of Zido. He did not think that saving the true lightning world would go against Zido's will, and he was not prepared to reject Tai Su's last request either. However, Ning Fan really did not think that he could save the true lightning world with his current strength. He could not do it for the time being. However, he could give it a try when his cultivation base was stronger in the future. After keeping the star map and the pill recipe, Ning Fan stayed on the deserted island for more than 10 days. Only then did he bring Yu Linkong, who had fully recovered, to the 6-winged clan. Yu Linkong had already completely recovered to her peak state. She set up a moon portal which could allow her to travel 300 million li. In just one night, she had opened the moon portal more than 20 times and brought Ning Fan across more than 7 billion li. Only then did they arrive at the sea region where the 6-winged clan was located. As for the amount of immortal jade used, it was a total of 1.2 billion. Ning Fan had just obtained a lot of immortal jade from the Zhou clan. Now, all of them were used up by Yu Linkong again. The moon portal technique could allow her to travel across 300 million li. Its speed was extremely fast, but the price it had to pay was indeed huge. Fortunately, Ning Fan did not have much concept of immortal jade. He did not know how to feel bad about spending money at all. If he ran out of money, he could just rob some more in the future. Ning Fan, the female corpse, and Yu Linkong entered the sea using rays of light and moved towards the sea region 1 million zhang below. Just as they descended to the bottom of the sea, they heard the sounds of battle coming from the sea hill not far away when they were still tens of millions of li away from the six-winged clan. On the sea hill, there was a group of cultivators who were clad in black armor. There were more than 30 of them, and each of them had 6 wings. All of them had suffered quite a heavy injury and were surrounded by hundreds of experts. Without a doubt, all of the cultivators who were trapped were members of the six-winged clan. The one with the highest cultivation base was an early divine transformation realm woman. She had already been severely injured by someone. Her physical body was destroyed and only her primordial spirit was left. The hundreds of experts who surrounded the sea hill consisted of 4 groups of experts. Those who surrounded the eastern side of the sea hill were a group of ferocious devils. All of them had ghost eyes on their glabella. They were obviously from the Ghost Eye clan. Those who surrounded the western side were also from the devil race. All of them had devil horns on their heads. They were obviously from the Misthorn clan. If there were only the experts from these 2 clans surrounding the sea hill, Ning Fan would only think that this battle was an internal conflict between the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean. However, other than these 2 clans and the devil race, there were actually 2 other forces involved. Ning Fan was very familiar with the inscriptions worn by the experts at the north of the sea hill. They were actually the inscriptions of the Demon Sealing Sect. The Demon Sealing Sect was really all-pervasive. They even dared to intervene in the battle between the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean. The experts at the south of the sea hill, on the other hand, were far beyond Ning Fan's expectation. Each of these experts cultivated profound techniques. Their bodies were filled with righteous qi. They were actually profound cultivators of the righteous path. Judging from their attire, cultivation methods and qi, they seemed to be experts from one of the righteous sects in the 800 cultivation countries. There were a total of 7 divine transformation realm experts from the 4 great forces surrounding the six-winged clan. All of them were brimming with killing intent and clamoring non-stop. Every single one of their words revealed their determination to annihilate the six-winged clan. Interesting. Profound cultivators of the righteous path, devil cultivators of the devil race, and demon cultivators of the demon sealing sect. These foreign clans have actually joined forces to attack the six-winged clan. What is their purpose? If there were no great benefits, Ning Fan would not believe that the 3 clans which had never interacted with each other would join forces. At least, based on Ning Fan's understanding of the demon sealing sect, they would not act without benefits. Little Cucumber, are we going to save them? What Yu Linkong asked was naturally whether they should save the experts of the six-winged clan. The female corpse, on the other hand, was indifferent. She was never interested in these deceitful battles. It's no longer up to us to act or not. Ning Fan smiled and touched Yu Linkong's nose. His eyes suddenly turned cold. When the 4 groups of experts who were attacking the sea hill sensed the fluctuations caused by Ning Fan and the others entering the sea, they had already sent out quite a number of experts to surround Ning Fan and the others. How dare you! My Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan have already sealed off the sea. No cultivators are allowed to enter the sea. How dare a junior like you defy the ban? You're courting death. Kill him. Groups of experts charged at Ning Fan without asking for the reason. Just the fact that Ning Fan had disobeyed the ban was enough for them to kill him. Kill him. If the six-winged clan is destroyed, we won't be able to borrow the revival platform anymore. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with indifference, as if killing these experts was just a trivial matter. His sword sense suddenly spread out and engulfed the sea hill. The experts of the four great forces were instantly killed by Ning Fan's sword sense. Their flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Only the 7 divine transformation realm cultivators were shocked. How could they not know that Ning Fan, who looked ordinary, was actually a peerless expert? Even if they were divine transformation realm old monsters, they would not be able to kill hundreds of nascent soul realm cultivators with just a single thought. Ning Fan's strength was beyond their imagination. Zhou Ming. I'm Zhou Ming, the distinguished guest of the Great Elder. I'm Fan Qi. I'm the Deacon Elder who was sent by the Great Elder to welcome you. Please save us. I'll be eternally grateful. The divine transformation realm lady, who was severely injured and only had her primordial spirit left, recognized Ning Fan as soon as she saw his face. Immediately, all the despair on her face disappeared and she shouted for help. Her words entered the ears of the 7 divine transformation realm cultivators. Immediately, the 7 of them who were initially arrogant were trembling in fear. Zhou Ming. That's right. He's Zhou Ming, whom the Palace Lord has warned us not to offend. One of the divine transformation realm cultivators of the demon sealing sect said in despair. Zhou Ming. He's the infamous Zhou Ming of the Endless Sea. The Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan had always been living under the tranquil ocean. Thus, they did not know Ning Fan's appearance. Now that they heard Ning Fan's devil name, they were naturally shocked. Zhou Ming. The newly appointed revered elder of the Rain Palace? The few divine transformation realm cultivators were also filled with fear when they heard Ning Fan's name. Very well. They finally know what fear is. Unfortunately, it was a little too late for them to be afraid. Don't come any closer. If you come any closer, I'll kill this woman. The 7 divine transformation realm cultivators knew that they would definitely die. The one with the highest cultivation base among them was only at the mid-divine transformation realm. How could they be Ning Fan's match? The divine transformation realm old man of the demon sealing sect flashed and arrived at the sea hill. He stepped on the primordial spirit of the 6-winged lady. His eyes were filled with fear and his voice trembled as he threatened Ning Fan. He had heard about Ning Fan's terrifying strength from Lu Jifan countless times. He certainly did not dare to confront Ning Fan head-on. He could only threaten Ning Fan with the use of a woman. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with mockery. He took a step forward without any intention of showing mercy to the fairer sex. Then, he turned into a black shadow and disappeared. A strong sense of danger descended upon the divine transformation realm cultivator of the demon sealing sect, causing him to feel despair. Not good. This Zhou Ming doesn't know this lady at all. He won't be threatened by anyone for her. His strength can even make a venerable demon afraid of him. I must die. Damn it. Damn it. I'm going to perish together with you. The old man activated his killing technique and stomped on the ground, aiming at the lady whose name was Fan Qi. Since there was no hope of survival, he would drag one of them down with him before he dies. Ah! The small face of Fan Qi's beautiful primordial spirit was filled with extreme fear. She let out a terrified scream. She thought that she was going to die for sure. However, at the next moment, her body suddenly felt light. She felt that her tiny primordial spirit was held in someone's palm. Before she could see the face of that person clearly, she saw Mo Nian spreading in all directions. 7 divine transformation realm cultivators were entangled and killed by Mo Nian at the same time. Black Tempest Soul Splitting Technique. What a frightening magic technique. The delicate body of Fan Qi's primordial spirit trembled uncontrollably. Only now did she see clearly that the person who saved her was the unusually cold young man whom she had asked for help before. What happened to the 6-winged clan? Ning Fan's cold voice entered Fan Qi's ears, causing her entire body to shiver. It was as if Ning Fan would kill her if she told a lie. He's a heartless person. Fan Qi was filled with fear. She immediately evaluated Ning Fan. Chapter 438. Fan Qi's cultivation base was at the early divine transformation realm. She was beautiful and she was a famous beauty in the Six-Winged Clan. Fen Qi had always been very confident in her beauty. Even among the middle and late-stage divine transformation realm old monsters of the Six-Winged Clan, there were quite a number of them who fancied her. Many old monsters were willing to become Dao companions with Fen Qi. However, Fen Qi had always been proud and arrogant. She looked down on any man. Under the order of the great elder of the Six-Winged Clan, she came to welcome Ning Fan outside the clan. However, she was reluctant to do so as she thought that it would be beneath her status to welcome Ning Fan. As Ning Fan was worried about Yu Lingkong's condition, he did not arrive even after a long time. As for Fen Qi, she brought her people to wait for him outside the clan. They had been waiting for him for several days, which made her even more impatient. Unexpectedly, the great calamity of the Six-Winged Clan came instead of Ning Fan. The Ghost Eye Clan and the Misthorn Clan had colluded with the other two great clans. They had openly sealed off several 100 million miles of the sea and launched an attack on the Six Wings Clan. The masterminds were naturally the Ghost Eye Clan and the Misthorn Clan. The reason why they attacked the Six-Winged Clan seemed to be to obtain some devil statue slate. Half a month ago, in the forbidden area of the Six-Winged Clan, a strange phenomenon appeared in the sky. Demon blood dyed the blue sky red. An ancient demon statue that had been worshipped in the forbidden area for generations suddenly shattered after the strange phenomenon appeared. That devil statue was said to worship a certain devil ancestor in the ancient times. The devil statue had a mysterious and mighty power. It would not be destroyed by any attack. Even a void fragmentation realm old monster would not be able to destroy it. However, the strange phenomenon that day greatly reduced the spirituality of the devil statue, causing it to shatter on its own. Moreover, an ancient stone tablet hidden within the devil statue fell out, seemingly recording something. The slate fell into the great elder's hands immediately. No one knew what was recorded on it. At the same time, the Misthorn Clan, the Ghost Eye Clan, and the other two clans also experienced the same phenomenon. The two clans seemed to have obtained an ancient slate from the devil statue's fragment. As for the giant demon clan, there was also a phenomenon of demonic blood dyeing the sky, but it only lasted for a moment before disappearing. According to the investigation of many masters, the demonic statue in the giant demon clan's forbidden land didn't shatter, nor did it turn into stone. This matter caused quite a stir in the inner sea. Many rumors said that the ancient stone slab recorded the great secrets of the demon race. However, no one dared to look at the stone slabs because the 3 stone slabs that had appeared were in the hands of the 3 devil races of the Hidden Ocean. The 3 devil clans were guarded by void refinement realm experts. Some experts who knew a little about the history of the Endless Sea would not dare to provoke the 3 great devil clans. In the Rain World, there were 800 cultivation countries, innumerable spiritual mountains and great lakes and innumerable strong cultivators. However, there were only a few hundred void refinement realm old monsters. Each of them was a strong cultivator whose name once shook the entire world. In the entire Rain World, the Hidden Ocean Demon Clan was a first-rate force. Only the Thunder Sovereign dared to suppress the 3 clans. Ordinary cultivators would not dare to provoke the 3 clans. Ordinary people didn't dare to covet the devil statue slate, but the 3 members of the demon clan dared to fight over it. The Ghost Eye Clan and the Misthorn Clan had always been close to each other. The 6-Winged Clan was isolated and the reason why they were attacked first was to fight for the slate. The giant demon clan didn't shatter the statue or reveal the stone slab, so they managed to escape. This was the reason why the 6-Winged Clan was suddenly attacked. This time, the Ghost Eye Clan and the Misthorn Clan each sent out 2 Void Glimpse stage-old monsters and invited 2 illusory Void stage experts from the Demon Sealing Palace and the Lan Ling sect to help. It was the Lan Ling sect, a sect from the Xiu country that had a good relationship with the Ghost Eye Clan. It was rumored that the sect master of the sect, the Lan Ling sect, was an outstanding figure among the youths of the previous generation in the Rain World. He was unrivaled among his peers and he had only been defeated once in his life. That time, he was defeated by Yun Tianjue. The current Duke of Lan Ling was said to be an absolute void stage-old monster. he was not far away from attaining the void fragmentation realm. Moreover, the divine sovereign of the Rain Palace once praised him as the most promising person to become the next void fragmentation realm old monster of the Rain world. This time, the Lan Ling sect had only sent a void illusory realm old monster to attack the six-winged clan. He was not a true void refinement realm expert. But even so, with the intervention of the Lan Ling sect, many old monsters of the righteous Tao gave up on the idea of obtaining the devil statue's slate. The Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan wanted to rope in the Lan Ling sect because they wanted to use the Lan Ling sect's power to intimidate the righteous path. As for the Demon Sealing sect, the sect master of the Demon Sealing sect, Lu Jiefan, had received the devil pill of the Ghost Eye clan. His injuries in the Star Palace had healed and his cultivation base had improved tremendously. He was not far away from breaking through to the void refinement realm and was in an illusory state. The Demon Sealing sect had received the favor of the Ghost Eye clan. Of course, they had to contribute to the attack on the Six-Winged clan. The reason why the Ghost Eye clan wanted to rope in the Demon Sealing sect was certainly not because they valued Lu Jiefan's illusory strength. Instead, they valued Lu Jiefan's position as one of the 8 venerated beings of the Internal Sea. The 8 venerated beings of the Internal Sea were the subordinates of the Thunder Sovereign. With the involvement of the Demon Sealing sect, the devil cultivators of the Endless Sea would not dare to interfere in this matter. The reason why the Lan Ling sect and the Demon Sealing sect wanted to rope in the two sects was to intimidate the righteous path and the devil path of the world. Fen Qi told Ning Fan all the information without hiding anything. She was really a beautiful woman full of tragedy. She was waiting for Ning Fan's arrival outside the clan, but she was surrounded by the 4 great forces. If it wasn't because the experts who surrounded her coveted her beauty and held back their strength, wanting to capture her alive, it would have been impossible for her to survive the attacks of the 7 Divine Transformation Realm enemies with her early Divine Transformation Realm cultivation base. I am unable to repay venerated Ming's kindness of saving my life. Everything I have told you is the truth. I dare not hide anything from you. I hope venerated Ming will understand. Fen Qi told Ning Fan everything and tried her best to sound calm. Previously, she was conceited about her beauty and looked down on Ning Fan. She did not understand why the Great Elder sent her to welcome Ning Fan. Now, she only had respect and fear for Ning Fan. In her eyes, the aura force that Ning Fan gave her was even more irresistible than that of the Great Elder. She immediately understood that it was wrong of her to underestimate Ning Fan in the past. She was also grateful to Ning Fan. Without his help, she would certainly have been captured by the 7 Divine Transformation Realm enemies. Then, she would have been humiliated or killed. She was even more afraid of Ning Fan. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with supreme coldness. It was as if he was standing on the clouds looking down on all living beings. He did not have this kind of coldness in the past. After Ning Fan had experienced the cultivation base of an immortal emperor and fought against Mo Luo, his outlook was broadened. His state of mind was washed clean and his aura was tainted with a trace of nobility of an immortal emperor. He is a heartless person. That kind of heartless is not cold-blooded. Instead, it's the heartlessness of an expert looking at an ant. Fen Qi pondered. In short, Fen Qi was very afraid of Ning Fan. Her physical body had already been destroyed. Only her primordial spirit, which was the size of a palm, was left in Ning Fan's palm. Her long and narrow brows carried a soul-captivating beauty. Her red lips were alluring. She wore a tight-fitting battle armor which made her look like a female devil general. There were 6 small and delicate wings on her back. She carried a kind of enchanting aura that belonged to a foreign race. She was the #1 beauty of the 6-Winged clan. Countless men would look at her with scorching eyes. However, Ning Fan's eyes were always cold when he looked at her. You didn't lie. That's good. If you lie, you will regret it. Ning Fan had already activated his mind-reading technique. While he was questioning Fen Qi, he also obtained all the information in her mind. As for whether Fen Qi was telling the truth or lying, it made no difference to Ning Fan. However, since Fen Qi was telling the truth, Ning Fan's attitude towards her naturally became slightly friendlier. At least, his eyes were not as cold as before. He let go of Fan Qi and let her tiny primordial spirit stay on his shoulder. Then, he spread his Fuli demon wings and gave rise to a purplish-black demonic wind, carrying Yu Linkong and the female corpse towards the six-winged clan. Little Cucumber, are we really going to save the six-winged clan? Forget about the demon sealing palace. However, the Ghost Eye clan and the Mist Horn clan are not to be trifled with. They are determined to get their hands on that devil statue slate or whatever. They are even willing to annihilate the six-winged clan for the slate. If we intervene, we will certainly offend the two clans. Moreover, the Lan Ling sect is also involved in this operation to attack the six-winged clan. Yu Linkong calmly analyzed the situation. During crucial moments, her intelligence was never muddled. She was a very reliable wife. You must be Venerated Ming's Tao companion, Venerated Moon. I beg you, Venerated Moon. You must save my six-winged clan. Fan Qi's beautiful face was filled with anxiety and despair. This time, the four forces had sent 2 Void Glimpse stage experts and 2 Illusory Void stage experts to attack the six-winged clan. However, there was only 1 Void Glimpse stage expert in the six-winged clan. It was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Without Ning Fan and Yu Linkong's help, the six-winged clan would certainly be annihilated. Even though Fan Qi was extremely arrogant and conceited in the past, she had heard of the rumor that Ning Fan possessed 3 Void Refinement Realm spiritual puppets. According to the rumor, Ning Fan and Yu Linkong were both half-step Void Refinement Realm experts. They were unable to fight against a true Void Refinement Realm old monster. However, Ning Fan's 3 spiritual puppets were the greatest hope to save the six-winged clan this time. Fan Qi was almost begging. Yu Linkong gently frowned at her pleading. She was not a kind person who would offend the Ghost Eye clan, the Misthorn sect and the Lan Ling sect for fun. She habitually wanted to refute the title of Venerated Ming's Tao companion. However, when she recalled Ning Fan's gentle expression, her tone became sluggish and she actually did not raise any objection to this title. Little Cucumber, I don't like to offend these great forces. However, if you say you want to help me, I will certainly hesitate and help you. Yu Linkong's tone was extremely firm. Ning Fan's heart felt warm. Yu Linkong's words actually meant that she would follow him through life and death. As long as it was for Ning Fan, she was willing to offend each and every extremely terrifying force. He raised his hand and gently held Yu Linkong's hand. The corner of his mouth curled into an ambiguous smile. Only the Great Elder of the Six-Winged Clan can activate the revival platform. In order to heal Weiyang's Sea of Consciousness, the Six-Winged Clan must not be annihilated. We must protect this clan. You heir, I'm counting on you to help me this time. Don't worry. I will definitely help you. Let go of me. Yu Linkong's delicate body trembled. She nervously withdrew her hand. Currently, her mind would be in a mess and her heart would beat faster whenever Ning Fan casually touches her. She felt strange. It was really strange. In the past, even if she had sex with Ning Fan, she did not have this kind of feeling. However, at this moment, her emotions were completely affected by Ning Fan. Little Cucumber, don't worry. My cultivation base has already recovered to its peak. Moreover, it has even improved a lot. Even if I have to fight 2 Void Glimpse stage and 2 Illusory Void stage experts alone, it will definitely not be a problem. This time, I will protect you. I can fight 4 of them alone. Yu Linkong had never seen the shocking scene of Ning Fan killing a Void Refinement Realm expert with a single palm strike in the Black Lightning Tower. She did not know that the current Ning Fan could even defeat a Void Inquiry stage expert if he goes all out. The reason why she told Ning Fan that she could fight 4 of them alone was just to make him feel at ease. However, when these words fell into Fan Qi's ears, it sounded like she was speaking rudely. What? Venerated Moon actually said that she can fight 4 of them alone? Even the Great Elder can't fight 2 Void Glimpse stage and 2 Illusory Void stage experts alone. Isn't this venerated moon a little too arrogant? Fen Qi did not believe that Yu Lingkong had the strength to fight 4 of them alone. However, even if she did not believe it, she also did not dare to voice out her thoughts in front of Yu Lingkong in order to avoid angering her. Ning Fan, on the other hand, believed in Yu Lingkong's strength. Just her second primordial spirit alone could already defeat 3 Void Glimpse stage spiritual puppets. If it's Yu Lingkong herself, her combat power would be even stronger. After recovering the power of her primordial spirit, her strength had improved a lot. The current Yu Lingkong was not any weaker than an ordinary Void Inquiry stage old monster when she goes all out. She alone was enough to quell the calamity of the 6-winged clan today. Of course, Ning Fan did not plan to stain the 6-winged clan with blood. Yu Lingkong was willing to offend the Ghost Eye clan, Mist Horn clan and Lan Ling sect for him. However, Ning Fan was not willing to kill all the experts of the 3 great forces in one go just to save a 6-winged clan that he had a shallow relationship with. Now was not the time to shed all pretense of cordiality with forces of this level. This time, Ning Fan was only prepared to protect the 6-winged clan from being annihilated. He was not prepared to kill all the top experts of the 3 great forces. With Ning Fan's dual identities as a revered elder of the Rain Palace and a distinguished guest of the Zhou clan, it was enough to make the 3 great forces wary. Even if he only kills some small fries, the 3 great forces would not dare to go against him. It was enough to protect the 6-winged clan from being annihilated. If I hand over the Devil Statue Slate to the Ghost Eye clan and Mist Horn clan, the 6-winged clan would not be annihilated because of Ning Fan's reputation. However, the appearance of this Devil Statue Slate is a little strange. The time when the abnormal phenomenon of devil blood staining the blue sky appeared was not long after I killed Mo Luo and obtained his devil blood. I wonder if there's any connection between these 2 events. In order to be cautious, I must get my hands on the Devil Statue Slate before handing it over to the 2 clans. I might even make a copy of it and study it carefully. Perhaps the content recorded in this Devil Statue Slate can help me completely devour Mo Luo's blood. Rumble. 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 From afar, the 6-winged clan could be seen. Smoke was already rising everywhere. The place was in ruins and the sounds of battle could be heard everywhere. In the deep sea, the great elder of the 6-winged clan was bathed in blood. He was fighting against 4 experts. His body was full of wounds and his blood flowed like a river. However, he still refused to surrender. Xian Yi, quickly hand over the Devil Statue Slate and I can leave your corpse intact. A burly man in black armor with a single horn on his head and a strong early Void Refinement Realm cultivation base smiled coldly. Each of his punches could cause the mountains to collapse and the earth to crack. The Great Elder was in a difficult situation. Gue Jiao. Dream on. This slate recorded the method to get rid of the slave mark and 1/4 of the cultivation method of Mo Luo's ancestral talisman. This is the only hope of my 6-winged clan to get rid of Mo Luo's slave mark forever. Even if I die, I will never hand over the slate to you. Hee hee. Since Great Elder Xian Yi is unwilling to hand over the Devil Statue Slate, don't blame me for being merciless. Lu Jiefan let out a few hollow laughs in a gloomy manner. Then, he took out a demon dagger axe made of purple flames and slashed at Xian Yi. The power of that single strike was enough to burn the mountains and boil the seas. It was already infinitely close to a Void Refinement Realm attack. Xian Yi was fighting against 4 experts at the same time. He focused all his attention on dealing with 2 Void Glimpse stage experts and only used his remaining strength to deal with Lu Jiefan and the other 2 illusory Void stage experts. He did not expect that Lu Jiefan would have such a powerful trump card at all. As he was distracted for a moment, one of his arms was directly cut off by the fire dagger axe. He let out a cry of pain and his chi became chaotic. This gave the other 3 experts an opportunity to attack him with all their might. In an instant, his injuries became even more severe and he was almost going to die. Xian Yi glared at Lu Jiefan furiously. He knew that he was not far from death but he could not die in peace. Lu Jiefan, you're just a divine transformation realm ant. If you didn't become a lackey of the Ghost Eye clan, how could you be bestowed with a devil pill and reach the illusory void stage? I can't accept being ambushed and killed by an ant like you. I can't accept this. Humph. You're courting death. Lu Jiefen's old eyes turned gloomy. He hated being called an ant by others the most. He would take revenge on everyone who had humiliated him in the past. Be it Xian Yi or Ning Fan. Of course, in Lu Jiefen's eyes, Ning Fan was far more unfathomable than Xian Yi. Before Lu Jiefen truly breaks through to the void refinement realm, he would continue to pretend to be afraid of Ning Fan until the day he breaks through to the void refinement realm and obtains the power to suppress Ning Fan. At that time, he would avenge his humiliation. He changed his hand seal and controlled the fiery dagger axe to slash at Xian Yi's dantian. The power of this single attack was enough to kill Xian Yi, who was currently in a weakened state. Xian Yi's eyes were bloodshot. His eye sockets looked as if they were going to burst. It was not easy for the unusual phenomenon in the sky and the appearance of the slate. He finally saw the hope of saving the Six-Winged Clan. He could not accept the fact that the Six-Winged Clan was annihilated at this critical moment. I can't accept this. Xian Yi ignited his devil blood. His eyes were like that of an ancient devil. Starlight condensed on his palms. He wanted to use all of his strength to display the star-punishing bow and block the attack of the fiery dagger axe. At this moment, several figures descended from the sky. The white-robed young man who led the group raised his finger indifferently and pointed at the fiery dagger axe. That fiery dagger axe, which was almost a void treasure, trembled violently under the tremendous force of Ning Fan's finger. At the next moment, the cracks on it were mended and the spiritual light it gave off was greatly reduced. Then, it shattered with a loud bang. A single finger had destroyed a half-step void treasure. Only a cultivator with the metal body refinement realm could have such a terrifying physical body. Who is it? How dare you obstruct my plans? Lu Jiefen's heart was filled with rage when his magic treasure was destroyed. He glared at the white-robed young man. However, as soon as he saw the young man's appearance, Lu Jiefen's eyes were filled with shock. There was even a hint of undetectable hatred in his eyes. That hatred was extremely deep. From the broken world to the Star Palace and then to the external endless sea, Lu Jiefen was forced to tolerate Ning Fan's provocations time and time again. It was not because he was magnanimous but because he could tolerate it. Being able to tolerate it did not mean that he did not hate Ning Fan. Zhou Ming, it's you. Have you become a cultivator with the metal body refinement realm? No, you're not. Your physical body isn't at the golden body refinement realm yet. According to rumors, when a cultivator with the golden body refinement realm throws a punch, there must be 10,000 rays of golden light protecting their body. You're not a cultivator with the golden body refinement realm. Lu Jiefen purposely reminded the other three experts that Ning Fan was not a cultivator with the golden body refinement realm. Although he pretended to be afraid of Ning Fan on the surface, he was secretly planning to kill Ning Fan with a borrowed knife. By pointing out that Ning Fan was not a cultivator with the golden body refinement realm, he wanted the other three experts to look down on him and kill him. Zhou Ming, even though you have the protection of the Rain Palace and Yuntianjue as well as 3 Void Glimpse stage spiritual puppets, you obviously don't put the Ghost Eye clan, the Misthorn clan and the Lanling sect in your eyes by openly interfering in the battle for the slate today. If you leave now, I can plead on your behalf to spare you from the death penalty for the sake of our old friendship. Lu Jiefen was pleading on Ning Fan's behalf, but in reality, he was putting a high hat on Ning Fan's head, slandering him by saying that he came here to snatch the slate. As soon as they heard that Ning Fan came to snatch the slate, the expressions of the 2 Void Glimpse stage-old monsters of the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan turned cold. Lu Jiefen, your pleading is useless. If this Zhou Ming really came here to snatch the Devil Statue slate, no matter what identity he has, he will be a great enemy of the Misthorn clan and the Ghost Eye clan. We must kill him. Even if he has 3 Void Glimpse stage spiritual puppets, he is still not a threat to us. Very well. Before Ning Fan could state his purpose of coming here, Lu Jiefan had already stirred up the situation, trying to make Ning Fan fall in love with the experts of the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan. As for him, by killing Ning Fan with a borrowed knife, he would have a chance to snatch the devil statue slate from Ning Fan after the situation is stirred up. He wanted to find out what exactly was hidden in the slate. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. This Lu Jiefan is still the same as before. His ambition is not small and he likes to make use of others. He made use of Li Ban and the other demon generals, the White Devil sect and every single person that he can make use of. Since he dared to scheme against the Imperial Star and the Devil Statue slate, there was really nothing that he did not dare to do. It seems like I can no longer spare this person today. If this person gains power, he will certainly become a great threat to me. He will definitely settle the scores with me. Ning Fan's killing intent had already been triggered. He must kill Lu Jiefan today. At first, he wanted to negotiate with everyone with kind words. Now, however, it seemed like there was no need to negotiate anymore. It was the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan who came to him on their own accord. He gently placed his hand on Yu Linkong's shoulder and said indifferently. "You heir, how long will it take for you to defeat the four of them?" "At most the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. I will certainly beat them up badly." Yu Linkong revealed a conceited and domineering expression. She took a step forward and her traveling light dashed forward rapidly like the faint moonlight. "What?" The four experts including Lu Jiefan were greatly surprised. From Ning Fan's tone, they could tell that he did not intend to use his 3 Void Refinement Realm spiritual puppets to deal with the mess of the Six-Winged clan this time. Instead, he wanted to let Yu Linkong fight the four of them alone. In their eyes, Yu Linkong was just a half-step Void Refinement Realm expert. A half-step Void Refinement Realm expert fighting against 2 Void Glimpse stage experts and 2 Illusory Void stage experts. Moreover, she even said that she could defeat the four of them within the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. What an extremely arrogant statement. Kill! Lu Jiefan and the other 3 people immediately surrounded Yu Linkong and attacked her. Since Yu Linkong wanted to die, they certainly would not show any mercy. Especially Lu Jiefan. A hint of viciousness flashed across his eyes. He heard that Yu Linkong was Ning Fan's woman. If he kills her, Ning Fan would certainly feel heartache and he would be able to achieve his goal of revenge. In the past, I was just a half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator. I'm not as strong as Yu Linkong. However, after obtaining the devil pill given to me by the Ghost Eye clan, I have already touched the bottleneck of the Void Refinement Realm. Now, I can be considered as an illusory Void stage cultivator. Moreover, I still have 2 Void Glimpse stage cultivators and 1 illusory Void stage cultivator to help me. Killing Yu Linkong will be a piece of cake. Lu Jiefan stealthily took out a purple flame golden dart. He activated his magic power and launched a sneak attack on Yu Linkong. His actions were not hidden from Yu Linkong's divine sense, causing her to reveal a trace of disdain. Lu Jiefan, you're still so weak and despicable. I don't care if you want to harm others, but if you want to harm little cucumber, you're dead meat. Yu Linkong's face was as cold as frost. Her killing intent was shocking. With a wave of his hand, he sent out 4 beams of moonlight toward the 4 of them. When the moonlight that was as light as cotton fell into Yu Linkong's hands, it turned into the most dangerous killing weapon, boom. 4 rays of moonlight light lashed on the bodies of the 4 old monsters. Their attacks were extremely close to the Void Inquiry stage. 4 earth-shattering explosions resounded from 4 different directions, directly shattering the chest armor of the 2 Void Glimpse stage experts and inflicting light injuries on them. The physical bodies of Lu Jiefan and the other 2 illusory Void stage experts were on the verge of shattering and they were severely injured. Lu Jiefan, in particular, received special attention from Yu Linkong. A beam of moonlight directly injured Lu Jiefan's demon soul, causing him to cough out blood incessantly. He was not far from death. The 4 of them could not believe that Yu Linkong, who was rumored to be just a half-step Void Refinement Realm expert, was actually an early Void Refinement Realm old monster. Moreover, she was an unrivaled existence among Void Glimpse stage experts who could give Ghost Eye Misthorn a great sense of danger. Ning Fan nodded his head. Yu Lingkong's toughness was within his expectation. However, Fen Qi's tiny primordial spirit on his shoulder covered her mouth with her small hands at this moment. Her face was filled with disbelief. Previously, she only thought that Yu Lingkong's words of fighting against the four of them were just arrogant words to boast about herself. Only now did she understand exactly how strong Yu Lingkong was. What she said just now was not boasting at all. She was just stating the truth. Is this the true strength of venerated moon? Even the great elder is no match for her. However, I still can't understand why such a strong expert would be willing to be venerated Ming's woman. Why would she be willing to offend the three great forces for venerated Ming? Does venerated Ming really have such great charm? Why can't I see it at all? Fen Qi's beautiful eyes were completely stunned. She carefully looked at Ning Fan. His thin and weak figure made her even more puzzled. She could not understand what was so good about Ning Fan that he could make Yu Lingkong follow him in life and death. Chapter 439. Yu Lingkong's black hair cascaded down like a waterfall and her eyes were bright like the moon. Her white hands brandished streaks of moonlight, dispersing all the attacks from the four enemy cultivators. Standing in the dim moonlight, Yu Lingkong was like a celestial concubine. Her movements were graceful, but every move she made was tyrannical and oppressive. The Void Glimpse stage expert of the Misthorn clan was called Gui Jiao. He was a burly man with a single horn and black armor. His physical body was extremely strong and he was already not far away from attaining the Golden Body realm. His single horn was especially powerful. It was as thick as a rhinoceros horn. When a single horn of his horn collided with something, it could flatten a mountain and fill up the sea. Its destructive power was a notch higher than ordinary low-grade mortal void magic treasures. However, after being swept by Yu Lingkong's moonlight waterfall, which she casually brandished several times, the devil horn that Gui Jiao was so proud of was actually broken by the moonlight waterfall. Gui Jiao let out a furious roar, but he was unable to do anything to Yu Lingkong. The Void Glimpse stage expert of the Ghost Eye clan was called Wang Liang. There was a vertical ghost eye on his glabella. Apart from that, there were strange eyes on his arms, neck, stomach and other parts of his body. There were more than 50 ghost eyes on his body. This was the Ghost Eye clan's innate secret art, the thousand-eyed demon eyes. In the Ghost Eye clan, no one could cultivate 1,000 eyes other than the Ghost Eye clan's grand elder. Each time Wang Liang attacked, more than 50 ghost eyes would spew out black flames. The layers of black flames merged into one. Even a Void Glimpse stage expert at the same level as him would find it hard to defend against them. Facing Wang Liang's ghost-eyed black fire, Yu Lingkong just swept out with her moon chains and shattered them one by one. Then, she pointed her finger in the air. Millions of rays of moonlight were like flying needles, suddenly piercing into Wang Liang's ghost eyes, blinding him. It was extremely difficult for him to recover. Wang Liang let out a painful roar, and his eyes revealed a deep fear. The illusory void of the Lan Ling sect was called Luo Song. He was only a step away from breaking through to the void refinement realm. His strength was far inferior to Yu Lingkong's, but by relying on the 9-segment bamboo whip in his hand, he was able to block Yu Lingkong's moon attacks time and time again. The 9-segment bamboo whip was only an imitation artifact, but it was already so powerful. If it was a source box, it would definitely be even more powerful. Although he was barely able to block Moon Drill's attack, every time the bamboo whip collided with Moon Drill, Luo Song's chest would be jolted by the force of the collision, causing his qi and blood to churn and aggravating his injuries. After a few exchanges of blows, Yu Lingkong raised her wrist, and moonlight pressed down like a mountain or an ocean, causing the 9 segments of the bamboo whip to be unable to resist, and it shattered into 9 segments with a bang. Luo Song's eyes were filled with horror when he saw the bamboo whip shattering and the moonlight pressing down on him like a mountain. He took out a silver talisman and slapped it on his chest. His body turned into a ray of silver light and retreated hastily with a speed comparable to a Void Glimpse stage expert. However, even though Luo Song retreated quickly, the moonlight suppressed him even faster. Crescent blades slashed down, and Luo Song screamed in pain as one of his arms was severed. His face was as pale as paper, and his heart was filled with fear. Yu Lingkong's strength made him deeply fearful. Lu Jiefan was bombarded by layers of moons. He had a misconception that although Yu Lingkong was attacking 4 people at the same time, most of the firepower was concentrated on him. Damn it! I know that my hostility towards Zhou Ming and Yu Lingkong has been deeply hidden and I have never exposed it. Why am I being attacked by Yu Lingkong? This bitch has actually broken through to the void refinement realm. Moreover, she is at the level where she is unrivaled among void glimpse stage experts. Even if I break through the illusory void realm and advance to the true void refinement realm, I might not necessarily be her match. Damn it! Damn it! Why is it that every time I plan something big, Zhou Ming always interferes with me? I can't accept this. Lu Jiefan's old eyes turned gloomy. He took out supreme treasures from his storage pouch again and again. His yin-yang purple flame mirror was originally the magic treasure that he relied on the most. However, it was destroyed helplessly when it was attacked by the realm beast in the Star Palace. His fire dagger axe was also a decent magic treasure. However, it was destroyed by Ning Fan with just a finger. His purple flame golden dart was also a hidden weapon magic treasure that he had spent a lot of effort to refine. Even a true void refinement realm expert would be injured if they were to be ambushed by this golden dart. However, this golden dart was destroyed by Yu Lingkong with a single moon ray. He took out his bronze hammer, the black iron cauldron and the flying sword, which was a spiritual treasure that shone with various colors. Each of the magic treasures was a rare treasure. Many of them were even useful to void refinement realm old monsters. However, these magic treasures could not stop any of Yu Lingkong's attacks at all. Under her almost overbearing moon ray, they would usually shatter with just a single strike, turning into pieces of broken magic treasures. Every time Lu Jiefan lost a magic treasure, he would feel extremely pained. Those were supreme treasures that he had spent a lot of effort to find. He stared at Yu Lingkong with eyes filled with hatred. If he could survive today, he would definitely endure hardships and achieve a breakthrough in his cultivation realm. In the future, he would definitely take revenge and make Yu Lingkong beg for death. His hatred did not escape Ning Fan's eyes. From Lu Jiefan's eyes, Ning Fan could see the hatred he had for Yu Er. It was impossible for him to let Lu Jiefan do whatever he wants again in order to avoid raising a tiger that would bring trouble in the future. Today, he would definitely not give Lu Jiefan another chance to escape. Xian Yi, the great elder of the Six-Winged Clan who was standing at the side, was saved by Ning Fan when he was on the brink of death. His eyes were filled with gratitude. If it wasn't for Ning Fan, Xian Yi and the Six-Winged Clan would certainly be annihilated. Xian Yi had never expected that Ning Fan would actually be so strong. Crushing a half-step void treasure with a single finger, possessing 3 void glimpse stage spiritual puppets and an unrivaled void glimpse stage woman who was willing to risk her life for him. Xian Yi was extremely shocked by Yu Lingkong's strength. He was very glad that he had made the wisest decision in befriending Ning Fan in the past. Ning Fan stood side by side with the female corpse, keeping watch for Yu Lingkong. He did not have the intention to save the other members of the Six-Winged Clan. On Ning Fan's shoulder was the primordial spirit of a woman whose qi was weak. When Xian Yi took a closer look, he realized that the woman was obviously Fen Qi. This woman has a special identity. Why is she with venerated Ming? Judging from Fen Qi's injuries, the injuries she suffered were caused by the magic techniques of the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan. In other words, she was injured by the enemy and was saved by venerated Ming? I wonder if venerated Ming saved her by chance or because he found out about her special identity and did it on purpose. Judging from venerated Ming's attitude, even though he is willing to save me, he won't save the other members of the Six-Winged Clan. It makes sense. This person is cold and indifferent. He won't do anything without benefits. He saved me just to save me and help him activate the revival platform. As for the survival of the six-winged clan and the casualties of the other members, he naturally wouldn't care. It seems like I still have to save the other members of the clan by myself. Since Xianyi could become the great elder of a clan, he was naturally not a weakling. His mind raced and he had already figured out many things. Looking at the countless casualties of the six-winged clan, Xianyi let out a sigh. Ning Fan had helped him block the four great experts. However, the low-grade cultivators of the six-winged clan were still far weaker than the four major forces. If no one intervenes, the low-grade cultivators of the six-winged clan would probably be wiped out in another 2 hours. Since Ning Fan did not save them, Xianyi could only save himself. Xianyi, of course, would not blame Ning Fan for being cold-blooded. Ning Fan was not a member of the six-winged clan. Why would he fight for the sake of the clan? Ning Fan was already showing mercy to Xianyi by being willing to save him. Thus, Xianyi naturally would not force him to do anything. Ignite my devil blood. Today, even if I have to suffer severe injuries and fall to the void refinement realm, I must protect the six-winged clan from being annihilated. Black devil flames burned on Xianyi's 6 wings. He burned his bloodline and cultivation base to forcefully suppress his injuries. Then, he turned into a ray of devil light and dashed towards the battlefields, killing countless enemy cultivators with thunderous methods. Among the enemy cultivators, there were many nascent soul realm and divine transformation realm old monsters. However, in the eyes of Xianyi who was at the void refinement realm, these old monsters were just ants. How could they withstand a single attack from him? Besides, he was currently burning his devil blood and was already in a desperate state. No one could stop him unless they were void glimpse stage experts who were at the same level as him. The enemy cultivators in the battlefields were all slaughtered by Xianyi. It was a bloody battle. Be it the six-winged clan, the Misthorn clan, the Ghost Eye clan, the Lan Ling sect or the Demon Sealing Palace, Ning Fan did not care at all about who would live and who would die. The six-winged clan was facing the danger of being annihilated. Although it seemed pitiful, it did not deserve his sympathy at all. If Ning Fan's strength was weak, he would have been hunted down by the entire clan when he became enemies with the six-winged clan in the past. The reason why the six-winged clan befriended Ning Fan and did not dare to take revenge was because they were afraid of Ning Fan's strength. Who knew if the six-winged clan would turn around and bite Ning Fan like Lu Jiefan when they become stronger in the future? In this world, the human heart was the most unpredictable thing. Therefore, Ning Fan was very willing to watch the six-winged clan being annihilated. It could also eliminate a hidden danger. As long as he kept Xianyi alive and activated the revival platform for him, it would be enough. Venerated Ming, please save my clan. Fen Qi sat on Ning Fan's shoulder. Her heart was burning with anxiety. Finally, she could not help but plead with him. What benefits will I get? Ning Fan said coldly. Benefits? Venerated Ming saved my clan when it was in danger and you will gain the favor of my clan. Is that so? I don't think saving the six-winged clan will gain any favor from me. If it wasn't for today's great calamity, I'm afraid there would be many members of the six-winged clan who would target me when I enter the clan. Miss Fen Qi, don't you think so? This. Fen Qi was speechless. Ning Fan's guess was right. The revival platform was a treasure of the six-winged clan that would not be passed down to others. It had a shocking healing effect. However, it would never be used by outsiders. Even though Xianyi had agreed to lend Ning Fan the revival platform, there were many voices of opposition within the clan. They could not change the Great Elder's order, but they secretly plotted to teach Ning Fan a lesson after he enters the six-winged clan. However, they did not expect that the Devil Statue slate would appear at this moment and bring a great disaster to the six-winged clan. The six-winged clan was about to be annihilated. How could they still have the mood to plot against Ning Fan? The six-winged clan was a wolf. It was the wolf of the East. Unless Ning Fan was a fool, he would never save a wolf. Light. Someone is coming. The female corpse suddenly made her move. Her small hand pointed in a direction where there was no one. Her eyes were cold and noble. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with surprise. Even with the strength of his spirit sense and the Fu Li eye, he did not see anyone coming. As her sea of consciousness recovered, she became stronger and stronger. Ning Fan did not doubt her words at all. It was not only because he trusted her but also because he could gradually feel a vast aura force approaching from the distant sea current. A void inquiry stage old monster. Moreover, it was at the unrivaled void inquiry stage. You heir, come back. Just when Yu Lingkong was about to kill Lu Jiefan, Ning Fan suddenly spoke and forcefully called her back to his side to protect her. Little cucumber, why did you call me back? I am about to kill Lu Jiefan and help you vent your anger. Yu Lingkong was rather dissatisfied. However, she did not disobey Ning Fan's words and obediently returned to her side. Someone is coming. Ning Fan explained with a solemn expression. At the next moment, a strong aura force that made the air suffocate came from afar. It was a cold and arrogant man. He wore luxurious clothes and a crown on his head, making him look like a young emperor. His appearance made Luo Song of the Lan Ling sect loosen his brows. He seemed to have expected that this person would come. Gui Jiao and Wang Liang were taken aback by his appearance. His appearance made Lu Jiefan's expression change greatly. His face was filled with an expression of miscalculation. I didn't expect that this person is also determined to get the devil statue slate. Damn it. I knew that the reason why the Lan Ling sect got involved in this matter was not because they were bribed by the Ghost Eye clan. With this person around, the chances of obtaining the devil statue slate are slim. Humph. However, as long as this person is here, no matter how many void glimpse stage spiritual puppets Zhou Ming has or how strong Yu Lingkong is, it will all be futile. In the rain world, who below the void fragmentation realm can go against this person? Lu Jiefan was worried about his personal gains and losses, but just like the other three experts, they all stopped and waited for this person to arrive. All the battles within the six-winged clan were stopped because of the arrival of this man. The experts of the four great forces all retreated to the side, no longer fighting. Chi. Like a flash of mist, the man who was hundreds of thousands of miles away from the six-winged clan appeared in the sky above the ruins of the six-winged clan. This evil man was dressed like a young emperor. There was a cinnabar dot between his eyebrows, but it added a bit of evil temperament to him. His aura was vast and upright. It was the aura of the profound sect's righteous path. However, his gaze was colder than most of the demonic cultivators. I, Lan Ling, am here for one thing. Anyone who dares to compete with me for the treasure shall die. This young emperor was actually the famous youth of the previous generation in the Rain World, Prince of Lan Ling. Chapter 440. This young emperor was actually the famous youth of the previous generation in the Rain World, Prince of Lan Ling. However, rumor has it that King Lan Ling was clearly a half-step void fragmentation realm expert. The cultivation base that he was showing right now was only at the void inquiry stage. It was a little strange. When Ning Fan took a closer look, he found some clues. The King Lan Ling in front of him was actually his second soul and not his main body. There should be many people who could see through the identity of King Lanling's second soul. But even if King Lanling's second soul came, no one would dare to fight back. As soon as Xian Yi saw this person, his eyes were filled with despair. If this person wants to exterminate the six-winged clan, Ning Fan would not be able to protect the six-winged clan no matter how powerful his means are. Fortunately, this person only wanted to snatch the slate. The slate would most likely not be able to protect it. However, it was unknown if Six-Winged would be lucky enough to survive after handing over the slate. Yu Lingkong's beautiful eyes were filled with astonishment. She was ready to open the moon portals and bring Ning Fan away at any time. It was enough to show how much she feared King Lan Ling. Little cucumber, let's get ready to run. We can't afford to offend this Prince of Lan Ling. In the Rain World, no one below the void fragmentation realm can go against him. Don't worry. This person did not come with his true body. It's just his second primordial spirit. Even if it's just his second primordial spirit, it's still not to be underestimated. Rumor has it that King Lan Ling is able to kill ordinary Void Pierce stage experts with just his second primordial spirit. Her tone was filled with worry. She was worried about Ning Fan's safety. She did not know since when the slightest trace of Ning Fan's safety was enough to affect her nerves. Don't worry. The hostility of this Prince of Lan Ling is not focused on us. Instead, it is focused on the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan. He claimed that he came to the Six-Winged clan to seize an item, and that item is most likely the Devil Statue slate. Interesting. On the surface, this Lan Ling sect seems to be allied with the Misthorn clan and the Ghost Eye clan. I wonder what kind of agreement they have. However, just as the slate was about to be obtained, King Lan Ling personally came to snatch the slate, intending to keep it for himself. As the ancients said, benefits make people fight. People who cooperate because of benefits will also fall apart because of benefits. Just as Ning Fan expected, as soon as King Lan Ling appeared, his spirit sense locked onto Gui Jiao and Wang Liang. It was likely that he had the intention to keep the slate for himself. Even though Yu Lingkong was powerful, she was merely at the level where she was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts. Without a strong background, she was not worthy of Prince Lanling's attention. The only ones that Prince Lanling was afraid of were the forces behind Ghost Horn and Wang Liang, the Mist Horn clan and the Ghost Eye clan. The Ghost Eye clan, in particular, would be King of Lanling's greatest opponent in the battle for the Devil Statue's slate. Xian Yi, hand over the Devil Statue's slate to this king. The cold words of the King of Lanling brought with it an unimaginable might that pressed down on Xian Yi. For the severely injured Xian Yi, this might was unbearable. Xian Yi's eyes were filled with fear. Under King Lanling's suppression, he actually felt like he was suffocating. If there were only Void Glimpse stage old monsters fighting for the slate, he would still dare to fight them. But even an expert like King Lanling was here, so naturally Xian Yi couldn't keep the stone slab. His gaze was conflicted. The content carved on the Devil Statue's slate was extremely ancient and profound. It was cryptic and hard to understand. What was even more strange was that the words would change after a certain period of time. With Xian Yi's research, he could only roughly understand that there were methods to release slave patterns and condense an ancestral fiend remnant talisman. What caught Xian Yi's attention the most was that there seemed to be a vast power sealed within the slate. He did not know what it was, but it seemed to be the source of the power that was changing the words. Xian Yi copied the words on the slate again and again. Each time, the words were different. He deeply understood that without the sealing power within the slate, these cryptic and changing words would be meaningless and he would not be able to release the slave marks of the Six-Winged clan. Therefore, he was absolutely unwilling to hand over the slate unless he could decipher its secrets. As King Lanling arrived, Xian Yi finally had no other choice but to take out the slate. It was a dark green ancient slate. It was emitting a faint ancient devil chi which was ancient and heavy. As soon as Xian Yi took it out, it immediately attracted everyone's attention. Many old monsters revealed looks of greed. They secretly released their spirit sense to find out what the words on the slate were. However, after examining it, the expressions of countless old monsters changed. Not only were the words on the slate hard to understand, but they would also change after a certain period of time. Even Ning Fan's expression changed slightly. He too could not understand what was written on the slate. However, when he saw the slate and the words on it, he suddenly felt that the drop of Mo Luo's blood in his primordial spirit seemed to be boiling. The profound earth devil marks on his back began to burn and showed faint signs of advancing to the next level. This slate hid the secret of Mo Luo's blood. It also contained the mysterious power that allowed the devil marks to advance to the next level. Ning Fan secretly activated Mo Luo's eye and was immediately surprised. He realized that when he used Mo Luo's eye and looked at the words again, the words actually began to move. Eventually, they condensed into clear words again and no longer changed. Ning Fan was the only one who saw such a scene. What the others saw were still the words that kept changing. To Ning Fan's surprise, he sensed a vast amount of devil chi from the slate. That devil chi resonated with the Mo Luo's blood in his dantian. It was as if Ning Fan could extract the devil chi that was sealed in the slate with just a thought. As for the thing that caused the devil marks to show signs of advancing to the next level, it was that devil chi. Ning Fan was the only one in this place who could truly understand the slate. In the rain world, Ning Fan was the only one who could extract the devil chi that was sealed in the slate. That trace of devil chi can allow my profound earth devil marks to advance to the next level and improve my body refinement realm. I have already memorized the words on this slate. As long as I extract another trace of devil chi from this slate, it will be equivalent to me obtaining all the value of this slate. At that time, it actually doesn't matter whether I want the slate or not. After extracting the devil chi from the slate and memorizing the real words on it, this slate is just like a chicken rib to me. However, outsiders such as Prince Lan Ling, the Misthorn clan and the Ghost Eye clan will still fight for this slate with all their might. I just need to extract the devil chi from it and they can fight for the slate. Ning Fan's eyes flashed. A plan to trick them gradually took shape in his mind. Prince Lan Ling's demand for the slate made Xian Yi yield and countless experts not dare to fight for it. It made Gui Jiao and Wang Liang, the two Void Glimpse stage-old monsters, so angry that they gritted their teeth. How hateful! The Lan Ling sect kept saying that they would help the Ghost Eye clan to get the slate. However, in the end, they wanted to snatch the slate from the Six-Winged clan instead. The two of them hated the betrayal of the Lan Ling sect to the core. However, they did not dare to voice out their anger. It was all because Prince Lan Ling's reputation was too powerful. Luckily, the two clans were not easy to deal with. They had long been on guard against the betrayal of the Lan Ling sect. They had also sent their experts here but they had yet to arrive. Since Prince Lan Ling wanted the slate, no one in this place dared to have any ideas about it. Except for Ning Fan. Ning Fan took a step forward. Out of everyone's expectation, he stood in front of Xian Yi and gently took the slate. His eyes revealed a playful smile. Hee hee. I didn't expect so many people to come to fight for this slate. I'm a little curious. Just what is so special about a mere stone slab that everyone is desperately fighting over it? Great Elder Xian Yi, can you lend me the slate to have a look? Ning Fan took the slate and immediately activated Mo Luo's blood. With the power of blood, he extracted that trace of devil chi and sent it into his body. As soon as the devil chi entered his body, it immediately flowed into the devil marks on his back and began to fuse with them. All of a sudden, the devil chi on the slate was exhausted. The changes of the characters also began to slow down. However, no one could tell that the slate had undergone any changes from the surface. No one would have thought that Ning Fan would snatch the slate in front of Prince Lan Ling. It was like slapping Prince Lan Ling's face. Everyone noticed that at the moment Ning Fan took the slate to have a look, Prince Lan Ling's eyes flashed with killing intent. Fool! Prince Lan Ling wants this item but that Zhou Ming went to fight for it. He is just seeking his own death. Lu Jiefan sneered inwardly. He knew that Ning Fan was extremely bold. However, he did not expect that Ning Fan would dare to fight for the slate against Prince Lan Ling. Lu Jiefan also wanted to fight for the slate. However, he did not have the courage to do so in front of Prince Lan Ling. That would be courting death. How could Little Cucumber be so reckless? Even though he has always been lawless, he always knows how to act appropriately. Now that he knows that Prince Lan Ling is determined to get this item, he still went to snatch this hot potato. There must be some deep meaning behind this. No matter what, even if I have to offend Prince Lan Ling, I will still help him. Get ready to open the moon portals and run away. Yu Lingkong secretly formed hand seals, getting ready to summon the moon portals at any time to bring Ning Fan and the female corpse away. Everyone was guessing that Ning Fan would offend Prince Lan Ling to the extreme by snatching the slate. He might even be killed by Prince Lan Ling. However, no one expected that even though Prince Lan Ling's eyes were filled with killing intent, he still did not make a move to kill Ning Fan. He was actually enduring his killing intent. There would also be times when he, Prince Lanling, would not dare to kill anyone. As for Ning Fan, he was precisely the person whom the Rain Palace had repeatedly warned him not to hurt. You are the newly promoted revered elder of the Great Heaven Palace, Zhou Ming. You have the inextinguishable fire body and you are still useful to the Rain Sovereign. Even I have been ordered by the Rain Sovereign not to touch you for the time being. However, it doesn't mean that I can't kill your women and close relatives. If you provoke me, your women will pay for your foolishness. Hand over the slate and get lost. Every word that Prince Lanling said was a threat. In his eyes, Ning Fan was just an ant. The reason why he could not kill Ning Fan was because Ning Fan's inextinguishable fire body was of great use to the Rain Sovereign. He was a young man of the same generation as Yun Tianjue. Today, he was already at the half-step void fragmentation realm and he had a great chance to break through to the void fragmentation realm in this lifetime. He was a supreme expert while Ning Fan was just a lowly weakling. Prince Lanling's threat made Ning Fan clench his fists and his eyes turn cold. What he could not tolerate the most was someone threatening his women. He had gone through a lot of trouble to obtain the protection of the Rain Palace and the Zhou clan just so that others would not dare to touch his women. Unfortunately, be it the deterrence of the Rain Palace or the Zhou clan, none of them were enough to make an expert at the level of Prince Lanling afraid. In the eyes of a half-step void fragmentation realm old monster, Ning Fan was still just an ant. He was just slightly bigger than the other ants. He had to recognize his own strength, and he had to become even stronger. Ning Fan's killing intent had already been triggered. However, he quickly dispersed it and his expression remained unchanged as if he was planning something. His plan to harm the Lanling sect would not change. Admittedly, Ning Fan's current strength was far from enough to fight against Prince Lanling. However, harming others was not directly related to strength. Today, if he does not make the Lanling sect, the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan fight each other and suffer great losses, he would have cultivated the Devil Dao for nothing. Ning Fan glanced afar. From that direction, he could feel two strong qi rushing to their aid. Two void inquiry stage old monsters. Judging from their qi, one of them was from the Ghost Eye clan while the other was from the Misthorn clan. Without thinking too much, they must have come to fight for the slate. The Lanling sect wanted to keep the slate for themselves. The other two clans were not fools. They also had the same intention. Very well. Everyone wants to snatch the slate from the Six-Winged clan. However, none of them knew that Ning Fan had tampered with the slate and it was already a useless slate. I'll use this useless slate to make the Lanling sect, the Misthorn clan and the Ghost Eye clan fight each other. If he muddied the waters, he might be able to sneak into the Misthorn clan and the Ghost Eye clan in the future and steal the devil statue slate of both clans. Prince Lanling, is it? I, Zhou, will remember you. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with a hint of cold light. Suddenly, he waved his hand and tossed the useless slate to Prince Lanling. Then, he pulled the female corpse and Yu Lingkong to their feet and transmitted his voice to them. There's nothing for us to do here anymore. Next, let's watch the show. Prince Lanling's emotionless eyes were moved for the first time when he saw Ning Fan's cold eyes. Somehow, he felt a chill in his heart when he saw Ning Fan's smile. It was an instinctive sense of danger. He, the dignified Prince Lanling, actually felt a trace of danger from Ning Fan's cold smile. But how is this possible? It's probably just an illusion. This young man is just a divine transformation realm junior. It's unknown whether he can achieve the void refinement realm or not in this lifetime. He's not worth mentioning. Even if he is given tens of thousands of years and attains the void refinement realm by luck, he is definitely not a match for me. He's just an ant. How can an ant like him make me feel threatened? Prince Lanling was still looking down on Ning Fan. However, he did not expect that his threat today had already touched Ning Fan's bottom line. Ning Fan would have to pay the price in the future. He kept the slate and stared coldly at the two figures who were rushing towards him from afar. They were getting closer and closer to him. Lan Ling. You really have bad intentions. How dare you snatch the greatest treasure of our 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean? You're courting death. The experts of the Misthorn clan and Ghost Eye clan who were rushing to help the Void Inquiry stage roared furiously. Just a few devils who have been suppressed by the Thunder Sovereign. How dare you speak to me like this? Courting death? Let's see who is the one who is courting death. Lan Ling took a step forward and raised his palm, sending the 2 Void Inquiry stage experts flying away. His combat strength was so strong that it was unprecedented. The expressions of the 2 Void Inquiry stage experts changed drastically. They did not dare to be careless and used all of their strength to display their secret techniques to fight Lan Ling together. Finally, they were barely able to hold their ground. The 3 of them fought against each other. The battlefield was getting further and further away from the 6-winged clan. At this moment, no one cared about the life and death of the 6-winged clan anymore. All of their attention was focused on obtaining the slate. The experts of the 3 great forces, the Misthorn clan, the Ghost Eye clan and the Lan Ling sect, also followed the 3 old monsters and left. Along the way, the 3 great forces fought against each other and blood flowed like a river. There was no such thing as an eternal friend. A slate was enough to turn the 3 great forces into enemies. On the ruins of the 6-winged clan, only the members of the Demon Sealing sect could not leave. The 3 great forces had already left. Lu Jiefan wanted to leave but he was heavily surrounded by the members of the 6-winged clan. The Demon Sealing sect had killed countless people in the 6-winged clan. Without the other 3 great forces following them, Great Elder Xian Yi did not put Lu Jiefan in his eyes at all. It was time for him to repay the humiliation and hatred he had suffered previously. Kill. As Xian Yi gave the order, the experts of the 6-winged clan swarmed out and charged at the members of the Demon Sealing sect fearlessly. In just an instant, the cultivators of the Demon Sealing sect suffered heavy casualties. Lu Jiefan took out a teleportation formation disc. He was ready to run. At this moment, a mocking voice suddenly resounded behind him. Trying to leave? It's too late. Boom Ning Fan pointed his finger and a huge force landed on Lu Jiefan's back. Lu Jiefan had been cautious his entire life. This time, when he came to the 6-winged clan to stir up trouble, he had pasted more than 10 heart-protecting talismans on his back. All of the talismans were activated under Ning Fan's sneak attack. Each of the talismans turned into a ray of formation light which was enough to defend against the full-force attack of a half-step Void Refinement Realm expert. However, these 10 layers of defense crumbled one after another in the face of the force of Ning Fan's finger. Lu Jiefan's expression changed greatly. Previously, he was certain that Ning Fan had yet to attain the Golden Body Realm. However, when he felt Ning Fan's finger at such a close distance, he clearly felt that Ning Fan's finger was not any weaker than any Golden Body Realm cultivator. That finger attack broke Lu Jiefan's armor. That finger attack still had some remaining force which landed on Lu Jiefan's back. In an instant, his physical body collapsed, leaving behind only his half-dead demon soul. He carried his storage pouch and retreated hastily while coughing out blood due to his severe injuries. As for the teleportation formation disc, it had already been destroyed. It did not give Lu Jiefan any chance to escape at all. Zhou Ming. Lu Jiefan glared at Ning Fan and gnashed his teeth in anger. It was Ning Fan who ruined his plan again. If Ning Fan did not intervene, with Lu Jiefan's cunning, he would definitely not end up like this. It was highly possible that he could even obtain the Devil Statue slate. Once he obtains the Devil Statue slate, Lu Jiefan could escape from the Endless Sea and find a secluded place to study the secrets of the slate. The world is vast. Who could capture him? After tens of thousands of years, when Lu Jiefan unravels the secrets of the slate, he would certainly become an expert whose name could shake the entire Rain world. Zhou Ming. I can't stand it anymore. I'm going to fight you to the death. Lu Jiefan's tiny demon soul suddenly took out an ancient puppet at the illusory void realm from his storage pouch. It was slightly damaged and he did not know where he got it from. His eyes were filled with hatred. This was his last trump card. He was not willing to use it. However, he must use it today. Otherwise, he would certainly not be able to survive from Ning Fan's hands. Puppet Fusion Technique. As soon as he activated the secret technique, Lu Jiafan's demon soul turned into a ray of light and shot into the illusory void realm puppet. He originally had the illusory void realm cultivation base. After refining the illusory void realm puppet, his cultivation base actually broke through the last bottleneck and advanced to the void refinement realm. From this moment onwards, he was no longer Lu Jiafan. He had become an early void refinement realm void glimpse stage puppet. After merging with the puppet, Lu Jiafan only had 1/10 of his lifespan left. He would die in another 100 years. He no longer had the qualifications to pursue immortality. Zhou Ming. You've caused me to miss my fortuitous encounters time and time again. You've caused me to lose my physical body and become a half-dead puppet. I'll make you pay the price. Lu Jiafan's furious punch killed groups of people from the Six-Winged Clan. The destructive power of his punch was at the void glimpse stage. It flattened the mountain-sized boulders in the sea. Xian Yi's eyes were filled with surprise. Lu Jiafan, who had merged with the puppet, was almost as strong as Xian Yi. Yu Lingkong's beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent. She blamed herself for being too weak and could not help Ning Fan snatch the slate from King Lan Ling. However, no matter how weak she was not so weak that she could tolerate Lu Jiafan attacking Ning Fan. She took a step forward and was about to attack Lu Jiafan with the moon burial technique. However, Ning Fan gently pulled her behind him. Let me do it. After all, it's a void glimpse stage puppet. Don't break it. Void technique, twin dragons. Ning Fan took a step forward. Both of his fists were surrounded by the shadows of black dragons. When he threw out both of his fists, heaven and earth were filled with the roars of dragons. Wind and thunder rumbled. His physical body was comparable to the first level of the golden body realm. As for the twin dragons technique, it was the body technique that King Yinglong was proud of. Even though it was only at the low-grade mortal void realm, the destructive power of this technique was still top-notch even among low-grade mortal void realm experts. Even though Lu Jiafan had willingly become a void glimpse stage puppet, his strength was still worlds apart from Ning Fan's. Boom! Two black dragon fist shadows landed on the body of Lu Jiafan's puppet. With a violent tremor, all of his fist lights were instantly destroyed. Lu Jiafan could not believe it. He had given up everything in exchange for void glimpse stage strength, but he was still not Ning Fan's match. Ning Fan was actually this strong. Even until his death, he still could not believe that the gap between his strength and Ning Fan's was actually so huge. I'm not willing to accept this. The shadow of the twin dragon fists landed on the puppet's body. The puppet was severely injured while Lu Jiafan's demon soul was directly destroyed. He was killed by the fist force. After Lu Jiafan died, this void glimpse stage puppet lost all of its spiritual intelligence and became a masterless object. Because Lu Jiafan had fused with it, the illusory void stage puppet broke through to the void glimpse stage. Because Ning Fan killed Lu Jiafan with his fists, the void glimpse stage puppet became a masterless object again. Even though this puppet was severely injured, it would become as good as new again after spending some immortal jade and spiritual ores to repair itself. Lu Jiafan, I will accept your great gift. Ning Fan felt slightly relaxed. He had forgotten about the unhappiness caused by Prince Lan Ling. Lu Jiafan was a person who liked to seek personal gains. He was just like a fly. Wherever there was a fortune, he would want to get involved. Such a person must not be allowed to do as he pleases over and over again. Otherwise, one day, he would turn from a clown to a great threat. Killing Lu Jiafan today could also be considered as getting rid of a hidden danger. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.